good. Nothing much, man. We got fire butt.
Fire butt, what's that?
Ate too much hot sauce.
Yeah, well, we actually ate before this podcast. Finally.
Yeah, so you guys don't have to hear us eat through this whole freaking podcast.
Yeah, we're tired of ordering pizza and like talking to you guys and just like.
Yeah, we were tired of ordering junk food, so we ordered hot wings.
Yeah, which is like not far off from pizza.
It's not a hot.
But it's like none of the breaded product where we're gonna just like freaking just tank like 2 minutes into it.
Yeah.
Dude, my voice is shot too from the wedding yesterday.
Good.
Just from
times.
Yelling and freaking setting up. And just my body's tired, dude. From
it was a long
everything.
day.
It was a long 2 days, dude.
So our sister Michele got married yesterday. She had a beautiful wedding. She got married to a beautiful person named Trevor.
Shout out to Trevor!
Trevor! Our new brother-in-law.
Hunt wedding, hashtag 2017!
The hunt is over.
That's it, man. Finally. That leaves me as the only one that's not married, dude.
Loser!
The only one that's not married, dude.
They're finally getting
married. And it all happened so quick. Like, okay, so, like, I remember last summer, Michele, like, calling a meeting between all 4 of us siblings. And over at the El Torito, over at the Long Beach Town Center, she's like, okay, I have a meeting. I want to tell you guys something crazy. I want to tell you something big. So we all go down there, and she's, like, telling us, okay, hey, I met some guy on a singing app. And we're like, what?
What?
Like an application to sing song. Basically, it's a karaoke app. And
like, red flag. Red flag.
And so she's like, yeah, I met this guy, and we've been singing songs together on this karaoke app, and we're thinking, okay, that's cool. Like, okay, what? She's in love with his voice, and she's like, yeah, okay, well, that's cool. So far, so good. And she's like, anyway, well, we really like each other, and I was like, okay, all right, cool. And then she's like, and he's coming out next week, and we're like, oh, okay. So, and we're both just thinking, like, dude, no. Like, this is just a guy online. This is, like, another one of those traps, dude. It's going to be some, like, 50-year-old man, dude, who's just, like, you know, with some fake profile pic, dude, who's been singing. He has, like, the voice of an angel, but he looks like a gargoyle.
Hey, what's your name?
Dude, he's, like, she was, like, showing me, like, their songs they sang together. They were doing, like, Faithfully by Journey and stuff like that, all these love songs. And
Lion King.
Dude, Lion King songs. And just like how they like, but then apparently she tells us they've been talking for like years and years and years. We had no clue.
No idea.
And so this guy's like going to come out like a week later, and we're thinking, okay, like what is this?
Who's this guy?
He comes out, Trevor comes out. And of course, you know, we have a big family thing.
Our guards are up.
Yeah, all of our guards are up. This guy comes by, and he's just like, this humble guy.
He's
from Arkansas.
Sweetest guy ever.
Yeah, and he's from Arkansas. So, like, that was another thing that she told us. Like, yeah, this guy's from Arkansas. We're like, wait, what? Like, it was just red flag after red flag. And then finally, this guy comes out, and he's just
900
like,
pounds.
Yeah.
He's a sweet guy, though.
Yeah.
Sweet guy. He likes sweets.
Yeah, he has, like, 3 eyes, dude.
No, he's not.
He has a glass eye, dude. He has a pig leg. No, but when he got there...
He goes by Lucky, you know.
But he was super cool. Like, we thought he was super cool.
One eye rolls to the left when he talks to you. Super sweet guy.
Hair lip. He was a good dude. First time we met him.
He's awesome, dude.
We didn't
since day one we hit it off.
What we didn't know was that, you know, in less than a year later, that they were going to be married. And it's just crazy, dude. Dude, it was crazy. Like, I know he visited a few times after that, like during Christmas time or something like that. And, you know, so he would always make a point for, like, big events and stuff like that to come out. And before we knew it, we were getting messages like, hey, I'm going to come out, I'm going to propose.
Right.
And we're like, oh.
We're like, whoa.
What? It's crazy, dude.
Slow down,
yeah,
Porky.
Slow down there, gopher. All right,
slow down there, Speedy Gonzalez.
Slow down, Angry Bird. All right, so
Jesus. Yeah.
So he does, like, we have, he comes out, he proposes, we all meet at the house, there's, like, this huge party, you know, all of Michelle's friends that, like, we grew up with, like, they would spend the night, and from, like, high school and everything were there, and then he's there with, like, I think 1 or 2 buds from Arkansas that, like, flew out.
Was he?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Who?
And, I don't know, dude.
I don't think he did.
No, maybe not, dude.
I'm pretty sure he is solo.
So he flies out, dude. He proposes. He meets at the house. You know, there's like this big, huge party bash at the Eynon house, you know, where Pops lives, in Bellflower. And we're just thinking, like, you know, it's crazy because I remember when you got married. I remember when when she was proposed to and she got married. But Michele, for some reason, I always felt like her and I were the most alike, and she would always like share stories with me, like, telling me about this guy, and it was like just always people doing her wrong, and she would always come to me for advice. And this guy, she was always coming to me and telling me things after she told us about it at the El Torito, like she really kept this one in the dark. So for some reason, like this, when she was proposed to, it really hit me, I'm not a person that like just cries all the time, but I definitely like kind of like shed a tear, dude. Like when it was like the proposal, I'm like, dang, dude, I cannot believe Michele's being proposed to. It was like it hit me, dude, like 100 miles per hour. I couldn't believe it, because Michele, like she's funny like us, she's playful, she's hilarious, and it's gonna take a special guy to understand that. It's gonna take a special dude that's just gonna be like, that's gonna be able to bounce off that and get along with her and love her for who she is.
Sure.
And she's a beautiful girl. Yeah. She's our sister, and we love her, but we know that who's gonna deal with her egg farts and her and all of her late night karaoke's and
the late night karaoke's word to him.
Yeah, that's a great thing.
So she's freaking singing at 3 a.m. at our parents' house. Na 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 na. Like, shut up!
Yeah, Lion King.
She's like, I'm singing to Trevor. You son of a bee.
The last year that I was living at the house, when I was still in college. There was been nights where I was studying and I can hear her Lion King, dude. Yeah, dude. And I would hear her all the way in the back bathroom, dude. She would go as far back in the house as she could.
Dude, side note, when I lived in the house, I remember when I had met my wife, I would have to talk to her super late at night, and I would have to talk to her we shared a room, you and I. Mm-hmm. So I would either have to be in the bed, and I would flip my covers over and be like,
that's how dude, it was almost impossible.
Or it was mission freaking impossible. Or I would go to the back bathroom and almost talk out the window. I'm like, so tonight was fun.
Dude, when you were living at the house, if you had any kind of love life, it was everyone's business. And if anyone found out, what are you doing in there? Who are you talking to? Who is it? Hearts. Yes. Everyone would give you a hard time. It's not easy falling in love or having a relationship or talking on the phone with somebody at the Eynon house.
There's 6 of us.
Yeah.
When I had still lived there, man, and it was our family was my mom, my dad. They're still together, which is pretty unheard of these days.
Yeah, over 30 years.
Awesome.
30 years, man.
Awesome relationship that we all look up to. And there's myself. I'm the oldest. This is Tommy. My brother Mitch was second oldest. Then my sister Michele, and then my sister Jessica.
Yeah.
And
they were married in the early 80s, mom and dad.
Yeah, in their 20s.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And
mom was 19.
She had me at 19 or like 20, 21 or something.
Probably 21 or 2, because they were, I think, married in 82 or 3. You were born in what, 85?
I was born in 85.
And all I know is that, like, you try to set timelines in your head. Dad was 30 when he had me, which would have been, he was born in 59, so that would have been 89. No, I was born in 88. What am I thinking? I don't know my own birthday. Oh man, yeah. So I was in 88. You were in 85. I think Michele was 1991, and then Jessica 1994.
I remember when hearing kids born in the 90s was weird.
Yeah. Well, I remember the first 90s?
time youngster.
Yeah, or the first time people said that's so 90s, or that's from the 90s. I remember thinking that sounded weird. Because you're you grew up thinking
the 90s were the
you always
best.
Hear that's 60s or that's 70s or 80s, and finally when your generation becomes that thing, the 90s, it's oh dang, I'm getting older,
Yeah, the 80s is old now.
But now the 90s is old too, man. Because
True.
Even kids born in 2000 or what, 17 now?
Mm-hmm.
That's just crazy to me, man.
So the drinking age now is what? You're 21.
It's 21, but I think that's the smoking and drinking age. Whereas when we were growing up, it was 18 to smoke cigarettes or cigars, and now you have to be 21.
Recently, it had just turned to 21. Dude, I bet those tobacco companies lost so much money from all those little 18-year-old.
Well, they definitely did. I mean, based on my life, that's when I started smoking. As soon as you could, I can buy a lottery ticket or I can smoke a cigar. you're gonna do it, dude. You know, you're gonna at least try it.
For sure.
You know, and I remember buying the first pack of cigarettes, and you know, when I was younger, for a few years, I smoked. You know, it was like, hey, look at me. You know, I'm cool, man. You know, and you just think you're the bee's knees, man. And then you realize a year later, I'm having trouble going upstairs, and you know, it's stupid. You know, you almost just do it just for show. The things that you do when you're younger for show are just stupid.
When I was young, I got into hookah.
I hate hookah, man.
Hookah's like probably like worse than a freaking cigar. And I was inhaling that shit. I was like, yeah, pineapple,
dude. But it wasn't like I remember
though.
going to like hookah lounges, like off like 2nd Street.
I started my party days
PCH.
in hookah lounges, bro.
Huh?
I started my party days in hookah lounges. Like, I had to go to this hookah lounge in Fullerton. It's still there. It's called Twilight. Shout out to Nadia, who's the owner of that place. Bro, I used to go there every freaking night after work.
Yeah.
I sold cars during the day, and then at night, you know, I hated going home to our hot house, so I'd go to a freaking hookah lounge and just like
air conditioned.
Yeah, there's music going on. Freaking, there's serving
Arabian
like energy
Nights playing,
drinks,
dude, in the back.
I'm just like lap dancing chicks, smoking hookah.
Aladdin soundtrack playing.
You like this peach? Yeah, you like that strawberry banana hookah?
Yeah.
You know, it's disgusting.
This is apple crisp. Taste it.
And then they have belly dancers.
Hookah always made me sick, man. I always felt like I was gonna throw
I
up.
loved hookah, dude. Hookah's good.
Man. I hated it.
I had smoked a cigarette one time in high school, walking home, some dudes are like, yeah, cigarette. You want to try this? You want to try this? And I was like, yeah, I'll do anything. What's up?
I'll do anything.
Never mind, not that anymore.
Am I cool?
I hated it.
Yeah. Well, dude, smoking, thank God, has changed to 21.
The first time I did dip,
oh, dude,
was at my friend Brian's house. We were at a party, we were just drinking, partying, and everyone's like, some dude's like,
Dip's
hey,
a
dude,
whole
you want
new
to try
thing,
some
man.
dip?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, dude, I'll do anything. I took, dude, like this much. Like
yeah.
a fat gob, put it under like my lip, and I was like,
Yeah.
cool, man. Dude, and then all of a sudden, like I had just eaten In-N-Out.
Yeah.
I was like, cool, I feel a little lighter.
You threw up, didn't you?
Dude, I was starting getting spins, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go lay down in your bedroom, right? Lay down in this bed, and then all of a sudden the whole room's just spinning like, hey, what's wrong with you? Are you okay?
That's the difference between smoking and inhaling, and then putting chew in your mouth where it's right in your lip, dude. It's just going right into your bloodstream, dude.
For sure.
I remember, you know, when I
had everything else in me, and then I threw up all on the side of this fool's bed.
Oh,
on
nice.
his bed covers. He's like, you threw up on my bed covers, dude.
Whose house was that?
Brian Bischoff's.
Oh, dude. Man, no, but I remember when my
girlfriend was like throwing his whole blankets in like his freaking
throwing blankets over the vomit, trying to cover it.
I'm sorry, I don't know why.
She's just covering it like with newspaper, like Big Daddy. And
yeah,
he's just peeing everywhere.
Just covering with newspaper.
Dude, that's crazy. No, I remember when I first tried chewing tobacco, and I remember it was my buddy Kirk. He was buying this stuff called Grizzly, and basically, you know, it was a long cut, and it was before I remember seeing pouches, you know, where they put like chewing tobacco inside of actual.
I've never tried that.
Pouches, and the difference is like if you like
I got a pouch in front of my belly.
Yeah, regular long cut chew. Like if you just bite straight chew, it's just like these shredded leaves, you know, and you throw them, you know, in your lip. And then there's like stuff like Red Man, where it's like the full on leaf and it hasn't been chopped up. And it's just like a full-on giant thing, dude, that you just freaking throw in there. And then there's the pouches where it's like this, like it's inside of like a little tiny like bag, and you just throw that in your lip, dude, and you just get like this little head high. But they would have this thing called the Ring of Fire, where if you lined your upper lip and your bottom lip with the chewing tobacco, dude, it was supposed to give you like this crazy rush. And then if you could do the Ring of Fire, you were like a certified man, dude. Like, oh, you did the Ring of Fire, you're cool, dude.
Fire breather.
And I remember Kirk, dude, he had all this tobacco, and I remember all of us doing the Ring of Fire, and then we were all gonna go to like this little Mexican restaurant around the corner called Holy Moly in Long Beach. And I remember I was thinking I was all stoked, you know, and I did like the Ring of Fire. By the time we got to Holy Moly, I didn't even want to go in the restaurant. I didn't want to think about Mexican food.
I've never eaten there, dude.
Guacamole or anything, dude. I just wanted to barf, dude. Yeah, it's a cool little it's a really good Mexican restaurant over in Long Beach. It's actually over by
it's a chain.
Hoagie Barmichael's. Have you ever been to Hoagie Barmichael's? They have like a lot of shows and like tons of bands always play there. It's just like a little bar. Not Hoagie Barmichael's, excuse me. It's D Piazza's.
D Piazza's is great.
Over in Long Beach, they have this place called D Piazza's. So like a ton of bands play over there, live shows and everything like that. And I had just taken the Ring of Fire over at Kirk's house, and me and Johnny and Kirk were like, all right, let's go get something to eat. So we go over there, dude, and this Ring of Fire is just starting to set in, dude. And I remember we're just parked under like some freaking street light. They're like ready to go in and eat. This was my first time chewing. They're freaking veterans at the time at doing this. And I'm like, oh, just wait. I'll just wait in the car real quick. I'll meet up with you guys in a second. Dude, I didn't even go in and eat. The thought of just eating Mexican food would just make me want to puke my freaking brains out. And I ended up puking, and I didn't even eat the freaking Mexican food, dude. I just freaking was late. That's
hilarious.
I was in the freaking car, dude. Just like... And then finally it takes like... It's weird when you feel like that. When you feel like you want to throw up, you know, either from too much booze or from too much tobacco or chew or anything like that. It's like you feel like if anyone says anything to you, or if anyone like just so much as taps your shoulder, like just don't touch me, dude. Like I can't be touched. I can't move right now. You know what I'm talking about, dude? And so I remember they all come back to the car like, are you all right, man? Are you all right, man? What's going on? And I was just like, dude, and I remember like as soon as that car started and it started shaking, dude, I just had to get out and just like hoove into some planter, dude. It was disgusting, man, and everything came out, and I hadn't even eaten any of that freaking Mexican food, dude. So the crazy thing is,
I've been like that.
It's funny. So I drove down here today. We're at Tommy's house to do the podcast today. And like 2 weeks ago, I was listening to one of the podcasts that we released called License to Ill. And I was like laughing at it, dude. Like I was just like, I was listening to it. I was like laughing at my own comedy.
Dude, I don't even have any, like we record these things and I have no say in like how it's edited. So I'll be listening to these things and it's almost brand new to me. You know, so I'm like, oh yeah, I did say that.
Yeah, because we recorded.
I'll laugh hard.
Because we recorded a lot of episodes.
Episode 2 and 3, I was laughing hard.
Yeah, well, we recorded, guys, for those listening, we recorded a bunch of episodes before we started releasing.
Yeah.
And so this one day, it's a work day, and we released an episode called License to Ill, and as soon as I get in the car in the morning, you know, you get up, you know, you brush your teeth, you get your coffee ready. I'm sitting in the car and I fire up this podcast. And now I got to go drive to work. So I hop on what is supposed to be the 5 to the 10. You know, I'm going up to Santa Monica. And for some reason, this one day, the ways, you know, since driving up to Santa Monica, there's going to be traffic every morning. So this one day, it wants me to take the 5 south to the 105.
Yeah.
But to get to the 105, you have to take the 605.
Yeah.
You know, so 605 to the 105. But I end up getting on the 605 south, and instead of getting onto the 91, I just kept going and listening to the podcast. Oh, it's so funny. And then I get all the way down to the 405.
What?
And I get all the way down to the freaking 405 freeway, dude. And I realized, what am I doing, dude? I was like driving to your house. I realized
You're coming here?
Yeah, I felt like I was getting ready to record another episode. And then I realized, I was like, I have to work today, dude. I'm driving. That's
so funny.
Dude, I was like,
You never told me about that.
No, I was like, I'm driving to Tommy's house, right? It was like last week. I was like driving to your house straight up, dude. And then I realized, dude, I jacked up, dude, because I'm all the way in like Orange County now. And I got to go. Early in the morning. It must have been 7:30 or 8, you know?
Shit.
So now turning around and going back to Santa Monica, I got to get on that 405 north, you know, the switch, you know, right there off the 605. And it didn't even dawn on me until I saw that, you know, where you start seeing the 405 and the 22 and everything like that. And I'm like, oh, wait, I'm in the wrong area. You know, I'm going the wrong way for like the last 20 minutes, sitting in traffic. So turning around and going back to work, it was a freaking nightmare, dude. Because then now you're sitting on the 405 all the way back from Orange County and going all the way to Santa Monica, dude.
No, thank you.
It freaking sucked butt, dude. But I made it. I lived to tell the tale, dude. I lived to I made it to work, so that's all that matters, man. But
You like super late.
I was so late, dude. But it doesn't really matter. It's all good. What about you, man? What's been up with you?
I just celebrated my birthday. I'm 21 again.
32, right?
32, dude. 1995. Yeah. Celebrated my birthday. It was on a Thursday, which is lame. And yeah, I went to work.
Idiot.
It was good. Yeah, it was a good work day. I'm in sales, so got some sales that day, which is great.
You actually worked on your B-Day?
Yeah.
What kind of a birthday is that?
Dude, I got this call. I had no idea like what the area code was. I was like, I'm not gonna answer that. I never answer any calls that I don't know the number to. Yeah. And it was like, and then I looked out later. It was like Chico.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's Grandma.
Yeah, it's gonna be Grandma.
So, for the last 32 years of my life, my grandma serenades us. She's like, happy birthday to you. Like, sings the whole song.
Cha cha cha.
Cha 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 at the end. God bless her heart. You know, it's hilarious.
Yeah, I look forward to those calls.
I do too, you know. Obviously, I was at work. I couldn't answer, so I was on the phone. But it was cool to listen to.
There's a few other people that have called me on my birthday for the last few years where I just don't answer the phone, dude. I'm just like, why are you calling me? I do not want to talk to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, Grandma's call, dude. I do answer that one.
So I wasn't able to pick up that one. And then, that day, you know, I went to lunch with one of my buddies, Kale. He went and took me out, and we got some food. I had old fashioned. Oh, dude, it was so good. The old fashioned was so good. He's like, you want to have another one? I'm paying. I'm like, well, yes.
Yeah.
So I had a second old fashioned.
Yes, I will go.
And then I went back to work, pretty tipsy, I'm not going to lie. And I got straight on the phone.
It's against the rules.
I know.
Rules are meant to be broken.
That's absolutely right. I got on the phones and had sold somebody in like 20 minutes.
Dude, on a scale of 1 to 10, how red is my face right now?
Tomato.
How sunburned am I right now?
Tomato, dude.
Man, that's what happens, man. After, you know, the wedding and everything, and I just came back from Texas, dude, where I was just getting freaking fried out there, dude.
How was that?
It was amazing, man. I spent a week out there, just different parts. I know this is after the whole hurricane, everything is blown over. We did not go to Houston. I went down there with Isabel, and we first went to Dallas, and this was like her first time on
Dallas is cool.
It was fun.
I've visited all of Texas before. Texas is
You've been there. You've been to every place in Texas.
Not every place, but yeah, I've been to all the major cities in Texas.
Dude, it's fun.
I've toured
man.
around Texas for 2
I
weeks.
never had been, dude. Like honestly, I'm trying to like up my traveling game because I feel like
Well, first off, this is your girlfriend's first time ever on
an airplane. On an airplane, and of
Did
course,
she freak out? How was that?
dude. Well, first of all, you know, like we went on a road trip. Like so, our first like kind of outing was like we went to like Las Vegas. We went to the Grand Canyon. We went to Hoover Dam and everything like that. Now we're like, okay, let's reach a little farther across the map. Let's
Sure.
go to Texas.
Yeah.
And we just pulled that out of our butts. We're just like, okay, what sounds cool?
Hey, whatever you're into.
What's a little farther, you know, that we can go to? So we're like, yeah, let's go to Texas, you know, and then of course every time we're on a trip, we're like planning the next one. You're like, where are we gonna go next? New York, blah blah blah. And then we're gonna go out of the country. So this one, we're going to Texas, and she's never been on an airplane in her life, you know. So it's like you just don't know what to
That's
expect.
crazy.
Yeah, you know, she's 23, you know, but
Yeah.
you know, spending a lot work. She works every day, you know, so she's always in LA or Santa Monica and everything like that.
Get those young ones, huh?
That's it, rob that Creole. Yeah. But she didn't have such a hard time with the flight out.
I love
and
your
the
girlfriend.
takeoffs.
She's awesome.
She is. She was rock and roll.
Shout out to Bella.
Shout out to Bella.
Love you, babe. You're the best.
Especially at the wedding yesterday, dude.
Dude,
She was owned that dance floor, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, dude. She didn't have a hard time with the flight out.
Dude, the food was so good yesterday.
Yeah, dude. I don't know who catered that, dude, but it was freaking.
It was Blue Agave Restaurant.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Well, they freaking did a stellar job. I mean, I freaking must have gained like 10 more pounds yesterday.
Easily.
And I gained a lot of weight while we were in Texas, dude.
I didn't want to say anything.
I know. But, dude, then I lost it all because I got sick when we came back. But real quick. So, she didn't have a hard time with the flight out. But when we were flying back into LAX, and then I'll tell you about all the in-between later, we were flying back at night. So, you know, flying at night is just like a whole different game. And so, it almost felt like the airplane had a hard time stopping. Like, in the airport on the way back at one landing at LAX, dude. It was like screeching, dude, and it took a long time to stop that freaking airplane. And she was like holding on to me, like tucking her head into my shoulder.
It's only going 600 miles an hour.
590 miles per hour, dude. They told us that exactly on the freaking flight in. And
that's why they had little things come up to stop it.
But they had so many delays on the way back, like right before we were supposed to fly out, that they were like playing games with us, like where it's like, okay, who has the oldest coin on the flight?
What?
Yeah, like they were doing everything they could to stall for time. And so people are pulling like quarters out of their pocket, nickels out of their pocket, and they were going coin by coin.
I've never seen that.
They started with the penny. Who has the oldest penny? Who has the oldest nickel? Who has the oldest dime? And whoever would win would have like...
Were you guys doing circles around the airport or something?
No, the plane wasn't even moving. You know, the plane hadn't even moved yet. But they kept telling us, like, hey, we're just going to play some games. You know, we're going to kill some time. Frontier, you know. But, yeah, it was like the cheapest flight available. But, no, it was...
dude, the worst is Spirit.
Dude, I have so many stories for Spirit.
I took Spirit to, I think, Dominican Republic on one of our trips. And it's like, you gotta pay 25 cents just to use the restroom, it feels like. You don't get anything. Like, when you take, like, JetBlue, they give you, like, free peanuts, they give you a drink in the air, you have your airfare, like, you have your movie. Like, Spirit, it's like, your seat is, like, your knees are, like, almost crunched up because the seats are so small. Like,
dude, and the thing is, you think you're saving big bucks by flying with Spirit. Like, okay, yeah, I got a one-way ticket for $60. Here's where they get you.
You have a one-way friggin'
dude.
Trip to hell.
They get you with the freaking carry-on luggage and you know, your personal item or whatever. And if you're not,
and it's almost the same as in a regular airline.
Yeah, but you don't realize, like, okay, everyone's just used to, like, you just carry your bag on, you go through like the check-in process where they got the dog that sniffs your bag. And this is LAX, at least, you know, where you go through crazy security. And when we're going in to any other flight, like on the way back, or we had like a layover where we had to like stop in Denver, the bag that I had, like a backpack, that was just considered like your personal item. You know, that they're not going to charge you for that. When we flew on Spirit, that was like, oh, you're taking a carry-on. That's like an extra $50, dog. You know, both of us, we got hit for that. It was like over $100 in just carry-on luggage. Where like with the other ones, it was a couple more bucks for like an airline ticket, but they weren't hassling us about our bags.
And they give you like one carry-on. You know, you have something like a bag you could take on with you.
Yeah, you don't get any. You basically, they say this. Spirit says this, and I don't read all the freaking fine print because I'm planning out like an entire like trip, dude, and I'm not going to read the fine print on the luggage, you know. So they say that your personal item has to be the size of a laptop bag. And dude, when you're packing, like, I packed everything, like from pants, socks, shirts, you know, just like gel, underarm, everything like that, all in one backpack. Everything literally for an entire trip. And if I need to do laundry halfway through the thing, I'll do laundry, which we ended up having to do, and I'll tell you why later. But so we got ripped by freaking Spirit Airlines just to bring our bags onto the freaking airplane. They don't even have Wi-Fi like a normal airplane would have.
That's terrible.
Or they would at least offer it. You pay $5, you know, and then you get like Wi-Fi and you're chilling, you know, for a long ass flight, like 5 hours. But so
was it 5 hours?
No, well, to Texas was 3, but from the flight back, we had a layover. So instead of like a straight flight, we had to fly to Denver, Colorado. And then we had to fly from Denver. There was a 3-hour layover at the airport. And then we flew from there all the way back to LAX. So, but the difference between the LAX, like, security checks, because when we went in, dog sniffs the bag. You know, he's looking for drugs. Dude, and the dog was, like, straight not sniffing my bag. I was wearing sandals, and the dog was, like, sniffing my feet, dude. And then the guy who is like the police officer is holding the dog, looks at me and like starts laughing. He goes, "What does that tell you?" I was like, "Dang, dude!"
Really?
Yeah, I was like, "Dang, man, my feet must be rank right now, dude." Like, if dog's smelling
these
something.
These feet smell dank.
Dude, but the dog was like sniffing her bag, dude. Like, I was like, "Bella, what do you got in your bag there? Are you smuggling some drugs on this trip or what?" And she's like, no. But no, so the dog, it moved on, and then
that bag is lit.
That bag was lit, dude. So after the dog, you go through, like, you know, you walk through like that metal detector and all that kind of stuff. while your bag is going through like a see-through scan. I guess they can see through your bag and they can question anything that's over, that looks like the shape of like a weapon or anything like that. Anything that looks like drugs, they're gonna like stop you for, or anything that looks like a big bottle of fluid. So you're not supposed to have anything over like, I think it was like 6 or 8 ounces.
My bag got stopped in one of those my last trip.
For what?
It got stopped for bananas, is what it was. I had 2 bananas in there.
What did you have bananas for, dude?
Dude, because I love bananas. And I brought them from our hotel.
Wow.
And our hotel had a huge, like, fruit basket.
Hey, you're a big fruit basket.
And we were going through, and they're like, I was like, oh, shit. I hope they don't, like, see something crazy or something.
Hey, sir, do you have a
I
big
hope they don't
fat
see
banana?
my blue dildo. No,
Hey,
I'm
sir, do you have a big fat banana in your bag?
They like pulled it out, and I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't think there's anything in there. And then she was just like, oh, it was our bananas. You're not allowed to bring like fruit or something. And then they just threw them out. Like,
They're looking at
they're
you.
all brown anyways.
Hey, what you got in there? That big fruit?
They're like, sorry, we're gonna throw you and your freaking wife out here, you big fruits.
Dude. Well, they didn't throw it.
I was like, tutti frutti. Tutti frutti.
They didn't throw any of my stuff. They didn't even stop me, dude. I'm just like that white guy. He's like approaching 30. Let this guy go, dude.
Let him go.
He's
did
fine.
nothing wrong.
Yeah, and so they stopped her.
They're like, Bella, boo,
dude, all the sirens went on. Like, this poor Mexican girl. Dude, this poor girl. They stopped her, dude, and they ended up making her throw away like a 12-ounce bottle of sunscreen. They're like, you can't have, any bottles over that certain size. Yeah, dude. And I was like, I needed that sunscreen. That's why I ended up getting so sunburned.
She's like, it's not for me. It's for my stupid white boyfriend.
It's for my güerito. But I forgot, like,
it's for my gringo.
I forgot to pack it. So when picking her up right before we left, I said, hey, bring some sunscreen. Her mom comes out.
Jug?
Yeah, and she lives with her family, and her mom
amigo.
comes out, and they're scrambling to try to find sunscreen because they just don't wear it. They're just like, they don't need sunscreen. They got like perfect tan.
sunscreen?
Yeah, and so she comes out, and they're like, "Oh, what if it gets confiscated?" I'm like, "Look, if it gets confiscated, I'll buy you guys some new sunscreen. No sweat."
It's like $12.
Yeah, but so the sunscreen gets confiscated, her facial cream gets like confiscated, and then so we're finally in the airport. But none of the other airports were like that, dude. Literally, you go in there. So we were on the way back from like the San Antonio airport and the Denver airport with the layover. Dude, it's a joke, dude. You walk through like a metal detector. Their TSA is like half asleep, dude, at the freaking wheel. They're just like,
oh yeah, you're good. You're good.
You're fine. Dude, I honestly felt like there's just such an inconsistency there with the security checks. But we got through. We lived to tell the tale. We're all good. But so we went to Dallas first, and we didn't realize. Our trip consisted.
Did you guys party downtown and like on 6th Street or what?
On 6th Street?
Yeah.
No.
In Dallas?
No,
Oh, okay.
when we got to Dallas, we didn't realize we showed up on the opening day of the Texas State Fair. We're talking like big Tex. We're talking like barbecue, just crazy, insane rides that would never fly in California.
What do you mean?
Just like the most rinky dink. Just carny.
Just carnies with one tooth. Try this shit.
Yeah, buck tooth.
Good luck getting
Yeah,
off.
like their idea of like
we lost 6 kids this week.
Yeah, for 60 tickets you can get like just flung high up in the air on some like freaking trapeze, dude. Where you're like your life just like flashes before your eyes. You get like
sign this
you
waiver.
You get flung, and they're charging like $5 for DVD copies of like if you go on those crazy rides where they fling you like super high up in the air, and literally the way they're recording.
Watch you lose your shit, and we're gonna make you pay for it.
They didn't even have stationary cameras. Literally, they had like some poor old black guy out there with a mini DV video camera.
He's like, I got
you. Recording it.
I got you.
And then he would go into the station and upload from the camera, and then the guy would just burn it on a DVD for you.
Wow.
It was so like just frink-a-dink, just drank a shank, dude. It was
jigga rigged.
It was jerry rigged, dude, man. But We ended up, like, we hit as many rides as we could, you know? And this is, like, all on the first day as soon as we go in. So,
That's a shit.
yeah, but the funniest part was, like, they had, like, this one guy that looked like he was just, like, cut in half. And he was, like, on... So, there's, like, this one guy literally in the middle of the fair. And it looks like his body is on a stick. And he's like, yeah, get your hot dogs on a stick, get your macaroni and cheese on a stick. Look at me, I'm on a stick, you know. And he's like, I'm just like the rest of the food here. I'm just a big fat guy on a stick. And he was just like some fat guy with like a Mary Poppins top hat, and he was just making everyone laugh, dude. And I was wearing, like, her dad gave me a Texas Cowboys hat to wear to Texas. And I'm getting compliments the whole time, and everyone's just like, "Oh, nice hat, nice hat." It was a different story, dude. When I went to when I was like in Denver, dude, and I was like in LAX, everyone's just looking at me like, "Dude, what is it, the Cowboys hat?"
How big was it?
It was just like a big old freaking like Mexican like 5-gallon hat, man.
Damn.
Yeah, and
I'm in your way. I'm gonna cut in your space.
It was fun, but the purpose for going out to Dallas was because, you know, we're celebrating 6 months of being together, and we just find any reason to, like, just hang out, party, you know, travel. You know, that's how much fun we have. So 6 months, we're like, let's go to Texas. We go out there, and I know her favorite band is playing. Her favorite band is Paramore. Paramore is a band that's been around, I think, for maybe 10 or 15 years.
What's like their best song?
Well, they had a record come out, I think, in the mid-2000s, and it was called Riot. And a lot of their big songs were off that. They had a song called Misery Business. It's like dun 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 dun. And a lot of people liked it. You know, it's a chick singer. They had a song they did for like the Twilight series called Decode, Crush Crush. They had a bunch of big songs like this one point in time. And then after that, like the rest of their songs were like these like chick flick songs. And so it's mostly like chicks that like this band. But she loves this band. I'm thinking I'm going to take her to see these guys. Paramore's cool. They have some good hits. And so we go to this concert. It's at the Verizon Amphitheater. And we were actually going to see them in Los Angeles. Da-da-da-da. Yeah, this is their new album. Ba-da-ba-da.
What was the old one? Like, the old one was, like, sick.
Yeah, no, yeah. So
was it called Misery Business?
Yeah, a lot of their old stuff was cool, where it was like really rock oriented, and yeah, like this stuff.
Yeah, I remember this shit.
Yeah, when this came out, it was big. And then they moved into like the whole Twilight territory, you know, and they started doing songs for them.
Dude, sing it.
Singing like a cloud. Dude, I remember this, man. I had the album.
Dude, I remember dating a chick that was into this girl, man, like, hard.
He was the only one for me.
I've never seen the video, though.
Whoa. Yes, dude. So these guys were huge, right? They had this rock album that was called Riot.
This was freaking 10 years ago.
Yeah. What year? 2007?
Yeah.
So they were big. They had a lot of big songs back in at that time, and then as time moved on, they're doing songs for the movies Twilight, you know, and then they're doing and then they broke up for a while, and they got back together, and they started doing like this really like girly sounding like Pat Benatar kind of stuff, you know, where it's all 80s out and everything like that. So they lost a lot of their audience with that, and they lost like any kind of like, it's hard for a guy, I think, to get into a rock band with like a chick singing, you know. It's just like, okay, like, all right,
pretty
remember?
sexist,
You remember what? Like, do you remember like when Evanescence was big?
Yeah.
Like, there was guys that would listen to that, and it was the same thing with Paramore. A lot of guys actually listened to it. But anyway, so she got super into this band. She loves the band. She'd always tell me. So I'm like, I'm gonna take her to see Paramore. We go there, dude. It's like 80% chicks, dude, at this concert.
That's a good concert to go to.
Yeah, and dude, so I'm like there, dude. I'm with her, and she's just like, she doesn't sit down once the whole concert.
Wow.
We're sitting next to like a dad who's bringing his daughter, who's like 13. He's like she just loves. Yeah, he's like, she just loves Paramore. You know, she just loves that Paramore. She likes that new song that just came out.
He has a fanny pack on.
Yeah, and then I'm like, look over the daughter, and this is like, these are like Texas folk, you know, and she's like, I wanted to go to a Metallica concert. My dad wouldn't take me. And I was like, well, you know, you probably would have had more fun at the Metallica concert. But good thing, yeah, he's just taking you out, period, because you are like the freaking it from Addams Family. You know, she was just like disgusting. But it was fun. Overall, like, the night was great. So the first 2 nights that we were there, or the first night we were there, we after the, like, Texas State Fair, we stayed in, like, this nice, like, Hyatt suite. But the second night, you know, we were gonna be. I knew we were gonna be gone all day, and that we were gonna be at that Paramore concert. And so I was like, and the next day we were supposed to leave to, like, San Antonio. We're gonna take a charter bus to San Antonio, and we're gonna go to the Riverwalk and everything like that. So
San Antonio is sick.
yeah. So, but before that night, where we're gonna go see Paramore, I'm thinking, like, all right, let's save some money on the hotel rooms this night, because we're not gonna be here all day, and, you know, we're just not gonna really enjoy it. So, like, I really can give a shit where we stay this night. So we're looking online. I'm looking for, like, budget inns, you know, just anything that's, like, under $100, you know, that could just somewhere to sleep, basically. And we come across this one hotel called the Bella Inn. So of course I'm thinking, hey, Bella, let's hit the Bella Inn. That sounds cool. And look, it's only $70. So we book a night at the Bella Inn, and we don't get there till, like, after the concert that night. We're on our way back, and the funny thing about Texas is, like, here, like, okay, so there's another fast food chain in Texas that's like the McDonald's of Texas, but it's called Whataburger. And, like, my buddy Josh, his girlfriend's from Texas, and he would always tell me, you gotta try Whataburger, you gotta try Whataburger. And it looks like it's like Whataburger or whatever. But so on the way back, we stop at Whataburger, and we're like, all right, let's try this place out. Like, we've heard way too many things about this place to not just try it out. And so I get, like, the double cheeseburger with jalapenos and bacon, like the curly fries and a Dr. Pepper. And she gets, like, the same, almost like the same thing minus, like, the jalapenos, because she doesn't like spicy food. And she's Mexican. God.
Wow.
And so we get the food, and we're like, we're tired at this point, dude, because it's been, like, you know, we've been traveling, we've been to the state fair, we've been to a concert, and we pick up this fast food. I'm in, like, one of those moods where, like, I want to eat fast food and then I want to just crash.
Sure.
At this, like, just bunk ass hotel called the Bella Inn, literally.
La Bella.
And just go to sleep, you know. So we get to this place, and little do I know, like, what I'm about to embark on.
Paramore staring there.
Dude, what I'm about to embark on is, like, the freaking Shining, dude. It's just
Really?
like, it's like the haunted hotel.
No.
So we get there. I'm not even kidding. And there's we get to the management office, and, like, the night manager's working. And there's, like, this creepy, like, 60-year-old lady who's, like, saying, she's, like, terrified, dude, you know? And we're waiting in line right behind her. And she's like, I don't want to stay here. She has her car running outside. What? She's like, I can't stay here. I can't stay here. And we're just thinking, like, what the heck is this lady's problem, you know? But she's just, like, freaking out. Like, we don't know why. She's freaking out, and she's just saying she's got to leave. And the night manager's like, okay. And it's, like, this Indian guy. He's like, all right. And he's like, all right, well, we cannot
do what you
refund
need to do.
Yeah, what you need to do. And so she leaves, and then I'm walking up like, hey, what's her problem, you know? Yeah. So he gives us a key. We got the Whataburger in the car, and he gives us the key to, like, room 108. And the way this place is set up is it's totally like the Psycho Hotel, you know, or like the hotel from Joyride, where it's like you have this long, like, strip of rooms, 2 stories, you know, and all the stairways to get up to, like, the second floor, like these super skinny metal stairway. And then the night manager's office is disconnected from the rest of those rooms. But the night manager office, which is right next door to it, is 2 stories also. So you're thinking, like, I don't know what's upstairs, you know, whatever. But, so he gives us the room. You're in room 108. So we go to room 108. Key's not working, dude. It's just not working. The hands, like, the handles, like, all jiggly and everything. It just won't let us in.
Was it an actual key?
No, it was an actual card that you, like, punch in, you pull it out, and it lights up green. You can go in your room. So she's really tired, dude. I just say, hey, just wait in the car. I'm gonna go get the room key and see, like, if they can switch his room. Huh?
You're on the bottom level?
The room 108 was on the bottom level that they tried to give us.
That's good.
So she goes, and she's laying down in the car, and I go back to the night manager's office. And so the night manager's working. It's this Indian guy, and he's like, all right, I'll give you the one next door, room 109. And so I go over, and I throw the key thing in, and sure enough, it unlocks. So we go in, And I'm like, I call her over. I'm like, hey, it's unlocking. Okay, let's go in. So we take the Whataburger in, and we're just both just beat, man. And we both just sit there. We start eating like the hamburgers and the fries, and so she tells me, she's like, hey, when we first came in and I set some stuff on the bed, I saw like a little tiny baby cockroach on the bed, and I killed it. And I was like, really? I was like, oh, that's gross. I was like, well, that was probably like the only one, you know? Let's just eat the food and then like just get some shut eye and get the heck out of here.
Yeah.
You know? But then we're sitting there eating, dude, and like they have like this like that carpet that's like multicolored, all these really weird like crazy colors. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at it and I start to see like movement on the floor.
Oh no.
And so I'm like, Bella, look. And I said cockroach, and she screams, and she jumps back. She thinks I'm joking with her, dude. And I turn on my flashlight on my phone, and I put it right up to the carpet. Dude, I see 2 baby cockroaches on the floor. And they're like splitting, dude, like just going crazy, like running across. And then she's sitting on the bed, and then I look on the bed, and there's a big, huge, fat cockroach.
Oh.
It's like scurrying across, and then now we're just like freaked out, dude.
Fuck no, get me out of here.
And then she's like, and then she points,
we gotta go.
And then she points at the wall behind me, and there's a fat one on the wall.
No,
dude. So she runs into the bathroom, dude, and she's like trying to hide in there, and then she starts screaming that they're coming out of the sink. It was like a scene from Arachnophobia, where all the spiders are coming out of like the sinks, and just like
that's disgusting.
All of a sudden, dude, it was like they smelt the food or something, and they were all just coming out. Yeah. Dude, and you can't really hear them, but like you start making the sounds in your noise. You start making the sounds in your head. You know, where it's like, you know, like they're crawling, dude. When I saw that fat one run across the bed, dude, I was just so disgusted. There was ones they were in the closet, and this whole freaking apartment or this whole hotel smelled like cigarettes too, which was even worse. But I'm thinking like they're all coming out and they're smelling this food. So we're like barely like 4 or 5 bites into this food. We're not even enjoying like the McDonald's of Texas at this point. And I'm like, all right, get your stuff now. And we had already set our stuff on the ground, and like all my clothes spilled out of the bag. And we're like trying to hurry up and like just hoping to God that there's like no cockroaches on our food, on our clothes.
Yeah.
We're just packing them up. She gets everything packed up, and she's like almost like in shock, where she's just like standing in the middle of the room. I'm like, come on, let's go. And I'm like grabbing her, like pulling her out, let's go. And so she goes into the car. And she's sitting on the passenger seat. And I threw all this stuff, and I'm just like fuming at this point. I'm so mad, dude.
Yeah.
Like I just wanted to go to bed. It's like midnight.
You're pissed.
I'm pissed off, dude.
So tired.
I'm tired. I wanted to go to bed, and now I know I have to find another room, another place to stay. We have to get up at 6 a.m. to catch our charter bus. So she's like in the car at this point, and I go to the night manager's office, and I start telling him like, dude, there's cockroaches all over this room. Like, what the hell? And like he's just looking at me, and he leans in, and he goes, cockroaches. You know, and I'm like, dude, you have cockroaches everywhere. You can't charge us for tonight because we're not going to stay here, dude. I was like, I'm just not going to stay here. And he goes, we have another building. Because remember, this is a separate building. And he goes, we have another building upstairs. And he goes, I think this is what you are looking for. And I'm like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? And he hands me a key. And it's not a key card where you slide it in the door. It's like an actual like long ass old school key with like the teeth at the end of it that stick out, like the jagged teeth that stick out just at the very end. Not even like a house key, like an old school like key to the city kind of a key. And I'm just thinking, dude, what is this? And he goes, room 108 upstairs, or room 8 upstairs. And so all the rooms that we were like staying at before, like the one that wouldn't open, those are like 10 something, 108, 109. This one's just straight room 8. And so I'm like, okay, like, dude, what is this? And I was like, he goes, go upstairs, look in the room, and tell me if this is where you want to stay. And I'm like, dude, this is just creepy. I don't want.
Why didn't you just give me this shit in the fucking first place?
Dude, yeah, that's what I'm thinking, dude. But I'm thinking, like, why is this room better? Did you know about the cockroaches? This is just, like, dude, I felt like I wanted to take a shower at this point. But even in the bathroom, like, they were coming out of the sink.
Gross.
It was insane.
It's infested.
It was infested, man. It was infested. And so I'm thinking, like, you know what? There's a slight chance that this room upstairs isn't gonna be, because it's like disconnected from everything. So his guy's telling me, like, okay, this room's going to be really nice upstairs and everything like that. So he gives me this key and he goes, go around to the side. So I have to come out of the manager's office, you know, and now it goes right into the parking lot. And I'm like 3 rooms down length from where this building is. And she's in the car in the front seat and she's just looking out, like, and I've been in the manager's office for like, the night manager's office for like 5 minutes, just venting and telling this guy. And so she sees, and we have to walk out of the front and then go into like the side. So between these 2 buildings, there's like a like this alleyway, and there's like this like narrow steps that go up into the side of the building, of the same building that we just came out of. But that's how you get up to the 2nd floor. Whether or not it was built at some other time, I don't know. But she sees that, and I'm just seeing the look at her face through like the window, you know, and there's like one like flickering like street light, you know, just like lighting up her face. And I'm just thinking, like, I'm like giving her the signal, like, I'll be right back, you know. And so we both go up the steps and we go up to this room, and the stairway leads to like the 2nd floor. And once you get to the top floor, it's like this really short hallway that leads to all these different doors. And I think there was 4 different doors, and there was one on the left straight ahead and like 2 on the right. And the room on the left had a number 8 on it. And he goes, the key opens that door. And so he hands me the key, and I'm like ready to like open the door, and I turn around, he's left already. He's gone, dude. Like, he just disappeared. I didn't hear him leave, nothing. And so I put the key in the door, and it's not working. Like, I'm like trying to jiggle it and open it up, but then I hear people inside that room talking. Dude, there's somebody in the room. And then I'm like trying to pull the key out, and it won't come out now, dude. And I'm thinking someone's just gonna come out from behind me and just like saw me in half because they don't want me to leave like a bad Yelp review or something like that. So finally I get the key out of the door, and then I hear like something stop on the other side of the door, and all I just hear is like, and at this point, dude, I'm like, dude, I'm out of here. I'm done. Like, you're trying to give me, this thing won't even open the door. And I go back down, and the guy's like already back in the office. I'm like, dude, this key's not opening the door. There's somebody in that room. And he's like, and I'm like, dude, I'm leaving. I'm out of here, man. This is freaking
He has no
crazy.
clue what the hell is going on.
Yeah, but the crazy thing was when I was walking back to the manager's office, I looked over at the car again on the way back, and she wasn't in the car anymore. So I'm thinking, like, dude, what the hell is going on? Like, where the hell did she go? And so I give the guy the key back. I'm trying to get back to the door where I'm gonna call her and like find out, like, she disappeared. I don't know. And I get back to the car, and I basically tell the guy, like, look, we're not staying here. I get back to the car, and I unlock it. She's not in the front, and I look in the back, and she's hiding, crunched down in the back. And she's like texting and telling her mom what's going on. She was like, and then she tells me she's like freaked out that something didn't feel right. She felt like she saw me like going to like the dark alley, and she was like freaked out, and she was like sending out our location and everything like that, dude. She was like freaked out. She didn't know what was happening, you know. And you know, I guess I could have gone to the car and like told her like, hey, he wants to check out this other room. But honestly, if I can go back in time, I would have just left right there. Yeah. You know, like, I should have just known and followed my instinct. Like, you know, something wasn't right about that place out in Texas, you know, and it was out in the middle of nowhere. You know, we just chose that place because it was close to the Verizon amphitheater, you know, that was like right next to, you know, where we were seeing the concert. And so we obviously just trashed the food, because when you see cockroaches or you see like something like that, when you're eating, you lose not just your appetite, but you're just thinking like, I don't want to eat anymore.
They touched it.
I just want to go to sleep. So at this point, it's like 1 in the morning, 1:30, and we know we have to wake up at 6 and take the rental car, because we had a rental car when we were in Dallas. We have to take that back to the airport and then take a lift to the charter bus that's going to take us to San Antonio. And so when you have 4.5 hours in between, you start to, you know, and you're not at that time at night and you're that tired, you're not thinking that clearly anymore. You just want to sleep really bad. I don't want to go online and start figuring out like, where am I going to stay? You know, I don't want to deal with another freaking Addams family, you know? So I'm just like, look, we're going to park, we're going to take the car back in the morning, but we're going to park in the parking lot at the Hyatt where we stayed, you know, just for like 4 hours, just sleep it off, whatever. And then we're going to wake up, take the car back, and we'll sleep on the charter bus on the way over there. Yeah. So, you know, it was between that and getting like we tried calling one other place called like the Quinta Inn, you know, but they're like, we're full. We tried a couple local places. They were all full because honestly, I didn't want her sleeping in the car, and that's not how I want to spend my vacation. But this night, that's what it turned into. It turned into like a freaking horror fest. And so we slept in the car. At one point, I kept waking up, because like there was just like, believe it or not, Dallas is a lot like Los Angeles. And in that it's not that hard. Like if you're from here and you wanted to move there, or you got a job out there, it wouldn't be that hard to adapt to because it's almost just exactly the same. It's not you get off and John Wayne's walking around or anything like that. It's totally different than what you think, and it's just all urban. So we slept in there. We woke up the next day. We took the charter bus. We slept the whole way. We went to San Antonio. The second half of the vacation was fun. It was just that one day that was kind of threw everything off.
Freaking nightmare.
It was. But when we went up to San Antonio, we got there. We were hitting up like it's basically just like the river walk, and surrounded by hotels and restaurants and bars, and gift shops or whatever like that. And then there's a few parts that are like that branch off that are man-made, like full-on like malls and stuff like that. And you can take like boats on the river, have like a romantic dinner like right there on the water. And we got like a nice suite. So like when we were sleeping there overnight in the car, we were just thinking tomorrow we're gonna be in a nice suite that just hangs over the water, and we're gonna be there for like our 2 more nights. It's gonna be beautiful. So once we got there, it was awesome. They had at the top of the Hyatt that we stayed at in San Antonio. It was at the very top story. They had like a pool.
You gotta tell them it's your honeymoon,
dude. You want to know something funny? I actually used that line on the Bella Inn when I told them there was cockroaches. They're not charging us. I'm like, this is our honeymoon. And he was looking at it like, why are you staying here, you cheap ass? But I just said that so that he wouldn't charge the card.
Yeah.
But apparently they still did. I guess they did ahead of time. So we sent them like an email.
Pre-charge.
We sent them like an email with like pictures. We took all the pictures of the cockroaches on the ground because I was like, you know what? They're going to say whatever they have to say to come back at us. Like, no, that doesn't exist. We've never had that complaint. And I'm like, no, dude. I got proof and showing that this clearly is a room. That's the carpet. These are the walls. Everything like that. Just so they can't say anything because we didn't stay there for more than 30 minutes. Before we realized this place had a serious problem. And but the guy was so calm. Like he was so calm, like he knew that the room that we were staying at, it was like Jaws, like they sent him into the water. They knew there were sharks out there. They sent him into this room knowing that there was like all like huge cockroaches, man, and baby ones just everywhere. Can you imagine going there if we were tired, if we didn't have the burgers, falling asleep and having one of those things crawl on you in the middle of the night? I've never had, like growing up, we never had cockroaches at the house, and I've seen them a few times where
I've had them here.
You have?
Yeah.
How bad?
Pretty bad.
But you didn't stay here overnight, did you?
I live here.
Dude, but you didn't leave? Or how quickly did you have them exterminated?
So, there was a point in time last year where this whole, all these bottom complexes that we live here in our community, all had a horrible cockroach infestation.
Yeah.
So,
Dude.
I would wake up in the morning and just like, oh, I need some water. And I'd turn on the light, and they'd like, and they'd just be like crawling around.
Oh my god!
I'm like, get the
dude!
I'd freak out. So we'd have a bug man come out and like spray, and then like, all right, cool, now we're good. And then I would open up a cupboard late at night, and just see one running by my plates.
No way.
Yeah.
How are you comfortable with that?
I'm not comfortable with that. That's why I complained.
Yeah, but how?
And then
I wouldn't stay
and
here.
then the bug man would come again, spray, when we're at work, and it was good
I would
for a
not
couple
stay
days.
here, dude, at all.
No, there was a point where it was like that for like a month.
Oh, forget it.
I was like, oh, cool.
We weren't podcasting at that time because I've never seen a cockroach here.
There was a point in time when I just go for like a drink in my fridge, grab some water, open up, and just like that fridge light, that light that just opens up from the fridge, and you would see like running across.
In the fridge? Or on the floor?
When I would open the fridge, the light on the fridge would open, right?
Yeah.
And you would see the light on the counter, and you could see those little fuckers running by.
Dude, that's disgusting.
Yeah. So we had the bug guy come to our house like 6 or 7 times.
Wow.
just to spray.
And you had no company over at that time, huh?
Remember, that's why I was recording at your house, because all of that stuff in our kitchen was in here.
Yeah.
Remember when you came over here and all that shit was just like piled up in here?
No.
So like the microwave, like all of the utensils.
You were trying
like,
to get rid of your
plates,
cockroaches.
Everything was to the side in our side room. And then, like every time we saw like a roach or anything, we would like come like to spray it.
But you feel like that's because there's like this consistency
4 weeks in a row.
Yeah, but that's because there's like cockroaches. I'm thinking that they'll dwell in a place like when there's like a consistency of crumbs on the ground or food that you left out.
They'll go in your living room for like a crumb.
Yeah, but they won't stay forever, will they? Not unless there's like consistent food, and that's what got me with like now I get like the whole meaning behind like Roach Hotel or Roach Motel. It's like, dude, why? Like who else is staying there and feeding the, like leaving crumbs for these cockroaches? Why are they still living in this spot? Because they were so many. How are they surviving when there's just like who else some truck driver want to stay there?
Sometimes they
have some like half of a
they'll just come
breakfast
in and
burrito.
They'll just come in and go to
carpet.
sleep. Those guys will just come in and go to sleep.
Oh, dude, it was a nightmare, man.
You had all the lights on. That's where you're able to see them all.
Yeah, dude. Some
people come in. They're like, I just had a nice road trip. I'm gonna take a shower.
A roach trip.
I'm gonna watch a little bit of TV. All the lights are off. They can't see them on the wall,
dude. But you can't feel them at night, don't you?
Crawling.
Yeah, all in your bed, just scurrying across.
Like.
Yeah, thank
Coming
God.
after your Carl's Jr.
Yeah, thank God though. But like, that's the funny thing. Like, is what like can a cockroach can't hurt you, can it? Like, what, bite you maybe?
No.
Or what's it gonna do?
Nothing.
So why are we so disgusted by that compared to like the other day I had like 5 ants in my bathroom, but like I don't care. Like ants are like, is it because they're just tiny and you don't feel like they're gonna do anything? You just squash them with your thumb and call it a day.
Just spray them.
Yeah, but even like with those little tiny baby cockroaches, like we saw, there's something about that where it just feels like
cockroaches are just disgusting.
Yeah, you just feel like, and I think maybe it's because of like what they spawn from, like, and what they're attracted to. Like ants, they'll show up when there's water.
Cockroaches too is like they spawn fast. So like, when you see one cockroach, the next day there's gonna be 5.
Yeah.
The next day there's gonna be 10.
The
next day there's gonna be 30.
Dude,
they spawn fast.
Yeah, man, that's disgusting.
They have sex more than you and I do.
Yeah, put together. Man, that's
put together.
That's
saying a lot.
That's freaking sickening, man. I don't know what it was, and you know what? I'm glad that like when we were growing up, I never saw one cockroach at that house.
The good thing about
it was like Bellflower, you have termites. Termites.
It's not about where you grow up.
It's about the cleanliness.
It's about the cleanliness. Our mom does not stop cleaning.
Yeah,
24/7.
Stay at home cleaner.
I told my wife that last night after the wedding. We came home. We came to the house.
Bunch of cockroaches
to pick up some stuff. And cockroaches everywhere. No, it's the house was so immaculately clean.
Yeah.
And I'm sure our dad can attest to this. Like, our mom does not stop cleaning. So she'll come home after a full day of a wedding. There's kids, everybody, and then like there's some stuff. She'll be out back cleaning up toys. She'll be doing dishes. Like,
yeah,
that house. I feel like she has to have everything clean before she can go to sleep.
Right.
Me, there can be mud on my walls, and I'm like, all right, night.
Yeah. Dude, that's the struggle too, especially with like you're living like a bachelor pad, like I am, and those dishes.
It's not a bachelor pad. I have a wife.
No, not yours. My house. Where like I don't want to do dishes, but Bella will come over and she'll do dishes.
Yeah,
or, like,
she's there 6 out of 9 nights.
Dude, she's there. She's
nights.
there. Some weeks I think 3 or 4 out of the week. Some like there was 1 week 5. Some weeks 1. So it just varies. But she does help out a lot. But like for the most part, it's usually Saturdays or Sundays where you're off work and you finally have time to do your laundry. And you finally have time to like wipe the grease off the stove and everything like that. And I'll do all the dishes and I'll catch up. And I do most of the work at the house, because I'm the one there all the time.
Sure.
I'm the one making all these dirty dishes and everything like that. And I know that, if you don't want bugs in your house, those apartment complexes, you got to be clean, man.
They'll come through the sink.
Because other people around you really close by aren't going to be as clean. So you have to be wary of that. These are connected apartments, whereas houses, you know, they're all disconnected, you know, so you can have, you know, a dirty ass neighbor next door, but you don't really have to worry about his cockroach problem.
Yeah.
You know, if I have somebody that's right next door, you know, on the other side of a 5-inch wall.
That's the thing with us. We had dirty neighbors. So it was like they're like
the Jurassic Park neighbors?
No. Like the whole bottom stairs neighbors.
They were all dirty.
So there was like 6 of us all downstairs, and all of us got infected because those little fuckers run through the walls, bro.
Yeah.
They find any little tiny crack and they'll come through. That, what's up? You got some salsa? You got a little cheeseburger?
What else you
They'll
got?
eat anything, dude. Like,
Got some McDonald's right there.
they'll eat water.
Yeah.
You know, so they're gonna come through, and all of us had like a bad problem. So I talked to all of my neighbors, and they were like, "Yeah, dude, we're having the same thing. We're having the same thing." And like the bug man was out every week.
Yeah.
At our place. I was like, God damn it!
And they just wouldn't die or what?
Dude, they wouldn't go away.
Yeah.
So like,
And he's spraying, or is he putting out traps? Or like,
He would
how
come
does that
in here
work?
and he was spraying all the corners, every little corner of our kitchen.
They
And
wouldn't stop.
We had all of our crap out of there, and it was all in this room where we're recording now.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, now everything's back in the cupboards. We're able to record like semi-comfortably in here, and you know, we're still finding them.
Are you still?
You know,
You're still
So-
finding cockroaches?
no,
Or dead ones?
well, dead ones. But if we find another one, we just take all our shit out and be like, all right, spray again.
Yeah, dude, that's...
But it's
but
bad.
they don't charge you every
it's
time, do they?
bad.
They're not charging anything to do
No.
that, right? They have to take care of that.
They take care of it.
That's the beautiful thing, huh? Like I have shit like
That's the
break
beautiful
at the
thing about
house.
having an apartment, and it's just like, yo, I could tell my apartment. I'm like, hey, our fan has 4 bulbs.
Yeah.
One of them burnt out.
Yeah, I've done that.
They will replace
I've done that. But I waited till something else built up. I waited, like there was one other cupboard.
Don't
where,
do
like,
that.
The
dude.
hinge
just
broke.
tell them you're paying for that shit.
Yeah, but they work there just at the complex, so it's not like that hard for them to just walk in and change a bulb. You know?
It takes 2 seconds.
Or like the biggest one where I thought I was gonna have to pay was like my drain plug because of like all the hair that
I've
was
had a
clogged in
new
it.
dishwasher put in place.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
dude. Oh, that's good, dude. Well, see, they have to do that then, right?
they have to.
Dude, that's the thing. Like, you think the only thing I think they won't do is like what, come in and clean your carpet? Because
They'll
that
do
was
that
one
too.
thing they told me. Like, oh yeah, your deposit. Like, if you jack up
When
your
you
carpet,
renew your lease, you can do whatever you want.
when you
So I'll renew my lease, but listen, there's that back room. I want that painted, and also I want my carpets cleaned, and then I'll go ahead and renew. Because it's cheaper for them to do those little things to the apartment than to replace you. Because let's say you move out. Let's say that the apartment's was not getting rented for 2 weeks. That might be $1,000 that they lost.
right.
Versus, hey, you want some paint? Okay, that's $10 for them. Carpet clean. Oh, that is cost $20, $30 for them.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
Yeah. Pennies.
So you have to capitalize on that shit when you.
So you do it right before you're about to cap.
when I
right
renew my
before you're
lease.
about to renew.
When I
Okay.
renew my lease, I have demands.
That's your bargaining power.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, dude. That's
Like 2 years ago, like see these walls that are different colors.
yeah.
I was like, I want those. I'm tired of all white walls.
Mm.
I want you to color my walls.
Oh, I just realized. Yeah, you have 2 brown walls in here. 3
Yeah.
brown walls.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they offset the white. I don't want to have a bunch of brown walls and it's gonna look stupid.
Well, how long have you been here? 5 years?
6.
6 years. Okay.
Every year I'm like, I want you to do my carpets. They put in a new dishwasher. Like the bug man this year has been here like every fucking day. Like just spraying, just.
He's got his own room.
Ghost roaches!
Roach Buster!
Roach busters!
That
That was a good one. But yeah, man, it's disgusting, dude. Just roaches are gross.
Yeah,
They start small and they get fat, and it's just gross, bro. Like you don't want to see that, dude.
Yeah, it's disgusting, but it's not as disgusting as what I experienced on the charter bus from Dallas to San Antonio. So we get on the charter bus. We're gonna go to San Antonio at this point, and everyone's just loading up, you know. And we took what's called the mega bus. You know, the way mega bus operates is they have routes scheduled so far in advance.
I know your routes.
I know your routes. Ooh, white boy, they have their routes set up so far in advance to where if you're booking like a year ahead of time from say Dallas to San Antonio, and you're like the first like one of the 5 people to actually buy the ticket, your tickets are $1.
$1?
And then so all the tickets start for every route as $1. And then as the tickets sell, they become increasingly more expensive. So by the time I booked, it was up to $30. So the first tickets are cheap, and then as they progress, they get more and more expensive. And so as this thing's about to fill up, if you're like the last guy to buy a ticket on the Megabus, you're hating life, like for that trip. So we get on the Megabus, and so we're sitting like on the very back, and we're just back there because we know this thing's gonna be like a 5-6 hour drive, and everyone's like almost loaded up, and then the guy's like starting up the bus and everything like this. Hey, if you want Wi-Fi, here's a plug in front of you, everything's good. And he's like ready to like get ready to go. And then you see like these 2 people like running like towards the bus, dude. And we're like, what the heck is this? And so like the bus driver opens the door, and these 2 people get on, and they're just like the most druggy looking people in the world, dude. And they just look like they just like shot up like in their freaking arm, like right before they got on the bus.
Like that black tar heroin's gonna kick in. Great.
Yeah. And it's gross because it's like this 50, 60-year-old man like with a super long braided beard. And he has like this dirty JanSport backpack on. And then there's this chick who's maybe 25 or 30. And dude, her voice, she just looks like a drug child, dude. Where like she's just,
oh man,
yeah, she has like this super high pitched voice. She's like, she's all drugged out, I'll party this and party that. And the guys just say, yeah, come on, let's go to the back. And so they start walking towards the back, like right where we're sitting. So we're sitting like right in front of the very back row, which is like a bench seat, that holds 5 people. Yeah. And then the rest of the rows in front of that on the bus are these like. Are on the right and left side 2-seaters, So sure. We're on the last 2-seater in the very back, basically only in front of the bench seat. They go all the way to the bench seat. The old man, druggy, like sits in the corner with his like legs open, and he smells like freaking diarrhea. And then she sits in between his legs, and then they pull out like this dirty freaking like bed sheet blanket and like pull it over their bodies, and they start like talking like while we're driving. He's like, oh, she's like, ah, you're really touchy. He's like, oh, what am I touching there? What am I touching there? Ooh, what's that? And like it's just like you just look back and you see like
did somebody get these clowns off our bus?
You just see the blanket like poofing up and down in all these like weird spots. Like, what the heck are they doing under there, dude? It's so gross, dude.
He's like, yeah, you like that when I'm climbing around?
Dude, it was nasty. He starts telling her like, making all these like dirty jokes, like dirty druggy jokes. He's like, he was
best black tar heroin in Survivor.
Yeah, dude. And she's talking about how she did time and how she doesn't like guys anymore because they would all do her wrong. And then how she only he's like, what about your new girlfriend? He's like, what about me? And he was like, just gross, dude. And
you're like, easy bozo the clown.
And then you hear him say like, I'm gonna go take a nap. And so he's like, starts going to sleep. And so she puts on her headphones after that. And so she starts singing. And dude, a druggie singing, like, it was the worst experience. Like, she was like, 99
bottles of beer.
99 bottles of beer. And I turned around.
So much crack, I can do this all night here.
We were like a half an hour into the trip. And I told her, she was outside the blanket at this point. And so I can make like facial contact with her. So
you got under the blanket with her?
No. Dude, I turned around.
Up, Susie?
Hey, everyone's asleep, dude. At least it appears everyone's asleep. Like, and now I realize everyone was just faking that they were asleep because I turned around and I said, "You need to pipe down." And she looks at me and she goes, and so she makes like a gesture with her hand,
she's
like bring volume down, bring the volume down. I'm like, you need to pipe down because we're trying to sleep. And then so I see like the guy, like his movement underneath the blanket, like his head like looking left and right, like he doesn't know what he's doing.
Pops up like a squirrel.
He's all cracked out like a whack-a-mole. And so she's like, she starts to now sing like under her breath, like, yeah. But as soon as I said that, like, you need to pipe down, like, 2 other people like, yeah, you need to be quiet. You need to be quiet.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I was like, why was should I have not waited this long to say something? Because, like, nobody said anything, dude, until I said something.
Hey, how are you? Hey, how are you?
Yeah, but we finally got there, and literally the mega bus stops are funny because, you know, like, we didn't leave from the airport. Like, when we dropped that car off, we didn't leave to San Antonio from the airport. We had to, like, take a lift to a mega bus station, which was, like, somewhere just outside of Dallas in Grand Prairie. And it was, like, across the street of some burned out McDonald's and, like, a broken down Taco Bell, dude, that wasn't even open. And what it dropped us off at a place called like Chuck's Barbecue or like Augie's Barbecue out in the middle of Texas, or in San Antonio when we got to San Antonio. And it was 1.5 miles away from the Riverwalk. So when you're planning out the trip, I'm like, it's 1.5 miles. We'll just walk it. You know, we'll be fine, or we'll take a lift if anything. So when we got there, of course, I'm like, I'm in Texas, so I want to enjoy the barbecue. And by the way, the food out there is top notch, dude. Like,
oh, it's awesome.
It is top notch, dude. That's why I gained a couple pounds when I was over there. I ate so much brisket, so much freaking pulled pork. It was good. But after you eat there, and that's the drop off, you're like, dude, I don't want to walk to the freaking Riverwalk now, dude. We just lifted it down there.
And by the way,
it was burning up hot.
By the way, I've been down there. The Riverwalk's awesome.
It is, dude.
Essentially, it's this mall, and they have a huge river that runs through this mall. It's not like it's some like overbearing like, but it's a nice river that runs through this mall, and it keeps the whole mall cool because the water is very cool, and it's nice.
Yeah,
it's lit up.
Yeah, at night especially. And I already kind of told them that, like, it's miles and miles long. So the mall is there, but it's only one, like, tiny part. A lot of it is, like, open air.
It's huge.
Yeah, but the cool thing is, like, when we finally got there, you know...
They call me the Mount. They call me the...
When we finally got there, dude, like, you could take an actual boat, you know, or you can walk it. And we took the boat, like, at night, you know. You get, like, a tour of the river walk.
Did you like a little gondola ride?
It was, yeah.
No.
But part of it, before we took that ride... we walked like 2 miles of it just like to see the sights, and we came across like this one section that it was right next to like these hotels, and it was like we noticed like there was all these birds. It was like a scene from that movie The Birds by Alfred Hitchcock. Thousands and thousands of birds, dude. I took a video of it, I'll show you later, where these birds were like just like flying aimlessly like all over the power lines and like diving into the water and like hitting the windows on the hotels, like just, boom. Yeah, dude, it was crazy, dude, but a lot of the sights were really, really cool, dude. Like, honestly, that was probably... I liked the second half of that trip more than the first half. Like, I love Dallas and everything like that, and it was fun, but it was a little too much Los Angeles, like, for me, to where the San Antonio was, like, a whole different story. And the cool thing was, we were staying at the Hyatt, which was right across from the Alamo. And the Alamo, like, you know, is like an old mission, you know, like the War of Texas and everything like that. It was great, dude. But the funny thing is, like...
What's the backstory on Alamo?
Well, the funny thing is about the Alamo, real quick, is every time I think about the Alamo, I think about Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Which is, you know, like, there's a scene where, like, if you've never seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure, basically, it's the main Pee Wee Herman movie. It was, like, one of Tim Burton's first films. Mm-hmm. That it's not all super dark. It doesn't involve Johnny Depp. And it's a funny movie. It's basically this guy, Pee Wee Herman... his bike gets jacked, and then it's all him going through the whole movie. Oh, where's my bike? You know, and he's like just going through the whole movie the whole movie is him trying to find his bike. Yeah. And he finally goes to this like fortune teller, who's like, he's like, where's my bike at? And she tells him, your bike. Yeah, she's just like trying to come up with a lie to get Pee Wee Herman out. And so she's looking out the window to like trying to tell him to find an idea of like where to tell him, and she sees like Al and Moe's Plumbing, and she goes, your bike is at the Alamo. And he's like, the Alamo. So he goes all the way to San Antonio, like through like hitchhiking and like taking rides from like this crazy like truck driver lady named Large Marge. And he ends up at the Alamo, but she tells him, she goes, it's in the Alamo in the basement. And so he goes all the way to the Alamo, dude, and he has to stand through like the entire tour. And at the very end, he's like, where's the basement at the Alamo? And she's like, please, sir, wait for all questions till the end. And she goes, at the very end, does anyone have any questions? And Pee Wee Herman's like, he goes, yeah, where's the basement at? And she goes, there's no basement at the Alamo. And everyone just stops and like just points at Pee Wee Herman and just starts laughing. And then he finally realizes like now he really needs to figure out where his bike's at. So of course
Where's my bike?
What's missing from this picture? It's just me without my bike!
Dude, so I asked, dude, of course, dude, I'm like thinking like I gotta ask where the Alamo is or where the basement is when we take our tour of the Alamo. And we get there, dude. Of course, we're taking the tour, and they're showing us like, you know, this is where Davy Crockett was at, and here's where blah blah blah. And
Davy Cockpit.
yeah, and there's actually a Davy Crockett hotel like right on the other side. But I actually asked them. I was like, so when it was like time for questions, like, hey,
Where's the basement at?
you know, and there's like, well, and you could just tell they've heard this question thousands of times.
They're like, sure, shut your
Every
goddamn
other
mouth.
tourist asks this question. They're like, there's no basement at the Alamo, but there is a basement over at the gift shop, but that was built in the 1927.
Look
and
up
blah,
in
blah,
the
blah, blah,
basement
blah.
in San Diego. It's
Yeah,
a cool club.
dude. The tour guide just looked like when I asked that, they just looked like they wanted to shoot themselves. They're like,
Just
no,
close their eyes for
please
three
don't
seconds.
ask me this question.
Stupid people.
Yeah, but it was fun. And
You're that guy in the back.
Daddy! But it was fun, man. And the coolest part, I think, when we were in San Antonio, not just the Riverwalk and everything, but we did some other cool stuff too. Like we went to they had a Ripley's, believe it or not, and it was like basically you can go see like one crazy Ripley's thing. They had 3 sites that were all right next to each other. So one was like a 4D show, and then they had Ripley's, believe it or not, wax sculptures, and then one was like the just Ripley's like actual like viewings that you can see of like crazy like inventions and people that with like elongated necks or whatever, you know, like that you can go see. Basically, each of them are like $20-$30 to go see, or you can get the package deal, which is like 40, and then you go see everything. And so we signed up. I was like, look, we're just gonna see everything. We're down here, like, so we go to the 4D show, and so it's basically supposed to like satisfy like all your senses in like one viewing of a show. It's like, okay, what's this gonna be? It was so disappointing. It was the Angry Birds movie show for like 5 minutes, dude. And so that the birds fly by you and they like blow a fan in your face, dude. It was so whack. And then we went to the freaking wax museum, and they had wax sculptures of like of Michael Jackson, of course, and like the Jackson
That's awesome.
5. That was probably the best part. And then the actual Ripley's Believe It or Not museum, where they actually had like these crazy things, was just pictures on the wall, kind of like in 1907, this man had 20 fingernails.
No one gives a shit.
Yeah, it sucked, man. That part was kind of a waste of money, but there was no one in there. And the funny part was though, like before we went into that 4D show, which was like the first thing we wanted to say, or first thing we wanted to see, where it was like, oh yeah, this movie's gonna like blow away all your senses. It was me and Bella and this like one other couple that were in there in this an entire movie theater where they show it, and the guy comes in, and before he starts the movie, he goes, hey, there's a couple other people in line. We're just waiting for them to come in real quick, and then we'll start the show.
Yeah.
So we're waiting for 5 minutes, and no other people come in, dude. And he comes back in, he goes, well, it looks like it's just going to be us today, folks. And then he starts the movie, dude. It was a freaking fat disappointment, because it had no replay value. You know, like, no one is going to go back and watch that. It's not like the Abraham Lincoln show at Disneyland, where it's like, okay, that was kind of cool, you know, or there's like some like, you know, replay value here where I might go back and watch it, or just a great movie that you love that you might want to go back and watch. It just sucked overall.
Yeah, I got you.
And but the wax museum was actually pretty badass, and they had like the Harry Potter stuff, which she just loves Harry Potter, you know. So she fell in love with
And a
that.
lot of those, the cool thing is, a lot of those mannequins, they look real, dude.
They did. A lot of them did.
Like you did a little photo shoot, and you did it for our
They had a
Instagram.
Jimmy Kimmel one. Yeah, they had a
And
Jimmy
you're like,
Kimmel
hey,
one.
just jiving for...
Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel
Our
was
ADP.
fangirling out about the Eynon Brothers podcast. Yeah,
That's
so they had
funny.
Jimmy Kimmel sitting at his desk. They had like Lady Gaga one. They had a Indiana Jones one. They had
all the good celebs.
But the crazy thing was this, dude. Like, there's one part at the very end of that wax museum, and here's why the wax museum was the best part. Was because there was a split, literally, where you can go 2 different directions. And one of it was like this horror show where it said like basically this is like the scariest thing you're ever gonna see, which is like a wax, and you basically saw like these steps, these narrow steps that went down underground into like this dark hallway. It was like a wax show of like the scariest thing you're ever gonna see. And the left, if you went left, it was the Last Supper, a wax showing of the Last Supper, and then you leave the museum. So basically, she's like, let's just go through that. Like, ay Maria, you know, I don't want to go through because she'll get scared easily. She doesn't like horror movies, just like you. And so I'm like, no, we're going down there, dude. And look, I've been to like horror nights. I've been to Universal, not Scary Farms.
Speaking of mannequins, the next thing I want to do with you is like now, after we end our podcast, is there's a little store across the street from my house, and they have mannequins and like all kinds of like people put in place in the windows, and they all have different like facial expressions.
Yeah.
And what I want to do with you is do a Facebook Live video and and just say expressions that you think that these people are gonna say. Like there's a chick that's just like put up somewhere, you're like, hi, my name's Kelsey and I'm just feeling this way. Like I wanna like go over there and just do like a little segment over there. I think it'd be freaking hilarious.
All right, maybe we'll do that later.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we went down into this freaking like dungeon, dude, and dude, it was honestly that like I've been through like the Not Scary Farm kind of stuff and the Universal Horror Nights.
That was bad.
It was scary. Like the stuff they had down there because it looked like real people. Yeah, and but the crazy thing was like there wasn't like out in San Antonio there wasn't a lot of people, so we were the only ones there. You know, so there's nobody behind us and there's nobody in front of us. Whereas if you're at like the Universal Studios or Not Scary Farm and those walkthrough things, you're jammed in between people, you know, and you're around other human beings who are also kind of scared or screaming.
And you're hearing it.
But you're also like so close to other people where we were down there like alone, you know, and so she got super scared and there was this one entire section that was on clowns.
Oh,
and
gosh.
Yeah, so me like knowing she gets scared, like I was like, I'm gonna walk right behind you, I'm gonna keep an eye on you, but I was an asshole for a second and I just kind of stepped back and I like hid in the corner, and she was like screaming, like yelling for me, like because she was stuck in this clown section, and she's like Mitchell, and so I like didn't say anything, and then I was back there and I went yeah, I got like sucked in, and I was like and I just stopped. And then she's like, Mitchell! And then I go to it like a minute later, you know? And she's just like in one corner, like frozen between like two clowns, dude, just not moving, dude. And then she was just like frozen.
And there were mannequins?
Yeah, there were mannequins, dude. But she was so scared, so I was like, all right, come on, let's go. Let's get out of here. So we got the heck out of there, and that freaking, the haunted house ended up leading us into the entrance of the Last Supper. And so we go through the Last Supper and everything like that, and we just freaking called it a day after that. We were done with the whole Ripley's experience after that. She was scared.
Yeah.
And we had already seen the Alamo at that point, and we're just like, okay, let's just go to let's just go back to the river walk, enjoy like a nice like romantic walk, and then we went and got like some souvenirs and stuff like that, some like T-shirts and everything like that. And I ended up getting you your actual birthday gift down there, which I can't tell you what it is, and I was supposed to bring it today, but I forgot. So we'll do it on the next episode.
Well, that's awesome, Forgetful Lucy.
Yeah, we'll bring it on the next episode, and I'll give it to you on that one.
Okay.
But overall, dude, the trip was just freaking flawless. It was what I needed. I think you need to take a vacation like that at least every like 6 months or something like that, because if you don't just plan anything, like shit's just never gonna happen, you know. And like we'll find an excuse to go travel. Like,
if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist, and it won't get done.
Yeah, dude, and you just won't save for it, or you won't plan for it. If you always have something like that to look forward to, like, so what we do is we're like during our trip, we're thinking like, what's the next trip? And like I said, yeah, the next one's gonna be New York, and then
Right.
after that, we're thinking, yeah, then we'll take a Europe vacation or something like that. So, but by the time this trip was over, dude, like we were maxed out. I was tired. I was freaking sunburned, dude. And I came back.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing was because they confiscated the like I said the sunscreen at the airport, and we never bought any more. But we came back on a Tuesday night. I went back to work on a Wednesday, and then the Thursday and Friday. I don't know what it is, dude. Like, do you need time to unwind when you come back from vacation? Because
Absolutely.
I got sick, dude. Like that day that I came back to work. Like
Yeah,
that
dude,
day
on
I
my
got
birthday.
sick.
That's so convenient of you.
It was, dude. No, that's true. Your birthday was on the Thursday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, this just doesn't sound kosher.
He's like,
because it's like,
I'm not feeling that good.
yeah, you're like, hey, I'm having
thanks,
my birthday.
dude.
I'm on vacation. I'm having the time of my life. And then you're like, hey, how's the vacation? Oh, it's going great. And I'm like back at work the next day. You're like, hey, but you're coming to my birthday tonight. I'm like, oh, I'm sick now. And that's what it sounded like. And I know I sound like I'm lying, but I'm not, dude. Like that's the thing. It's like, dude, I really like came down hard.
The thing
sick
with
when I got back.
going on vacation is you always need a vacation from your vacation.
Right, and
Like,
I
you
agree with
always-
that now.
yeah.
I agree with that now.
Think about it. Did you like been gone for those few days, travel
Yeah, a
time?
week, yeah.
You need time, like to just chill out and just
Right.
like rest and recover.
Unwind, man.
Yeah.
Post those pictures on Facebook.
Not
Dude.
just that, but it's like there's those times where I get back from vacation. It's like, dude, I feel like I need another vacation just because of that vacation.
Right.
So you need like 2 or 3 days to just recover and just
Yeah.
relax and just like that's why it's good to come back
Sift
like on
through
a
the
Friday.
debris. Yeah.
So you have like a Saturday, Sunday just to relax, and you go back to work Monday. Versus
Right.
like coming back on a Sunday, it's like, okay, I got to back to work on Monday. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
dude, you're gonna be still hungover and like you're gonna be like, it
Tired,
sucks.
jet lag. You know, there's a 3-hour time difference. You know, and like I said, we came back on a Tuesday, so which is like coming back on a Sunday and going back to work on a Monday.
Easily.
Thinking you have a five-day work week right ahead of you, and I'm thinking, oh, I got it easy. I got 3 days, and I actually did go back to work. I did a full day on a Wednesday. Wednesday night, down for the count, man. Fevers, just like sweating, laying in bed. I was down for the count for 2 days. We had a wedding rehearsal for Michele on Friday, and then you know, I'm still just freaking fried at this point, just sunburned and tired and sick, and I don't even know where Thursday went because I had gotten so sick on that day, which was like the day of your birthday party.
Yeah.
That like on Friday when I woke up to like reminders that hey, there's a rehearsal today. You're in a wedding, by the way. I'm thinking like, dude, I completely forgot that I was in like this like a wedding rehearsal that day. I knew we had a wedding on Saturday, but I forgot about the rehearsal. You know, you're just
Yeah.
like, look, I'm a veteran at weddings at this point. Just show me where to walk like on a piece of paper and like
Tell me who
I
I'm
got it
routing
down.
in there. Let's do it.
Yeah. And even you like showed up like after work on Friday, and you just like showed up. All right, where do I walk real quick, dude? And you like that stuff. It's like the first wedding or two that you're in. You know, especially if you've never been a groomsman or you've never been a best man, you're like kind of like, oh, what do I do? You know?
Take the whole day off. I gotta see
Yeah,
this.
I gotta study these maps, you know. But no, dude, it's really not that big of a deal. You showed up,
like
they probably
plug and
showed
play.
you where to walk. I think you walked mom out, and then you had to walk back. Like I walked grandma out, and then we both walked like
walked
one of
two
the
people
brides.
out.
Yeah, and then we walked a bridesmaid out.
I walked the groomsman's sister out after that.
Yeah, it was nothing. It was
It's
easy.
easy.
It was fun too, and it was funny too at the wedding yesterday. Like just seeing all these family members that we haven't
It's
seen in so
great.
long, and
Yeah, you
your
see
grandma
so-
was there doing like Michael Jackson dance floor.
Yeah,
and,
dude. She had a little pimp hat on.
Yeah, she does the
dude.
Eynon
She's
shuffle, is like what she's known
I'm
for.
Sorry, I can't walk over there, but I can walk over there. I can
Yeah,
dance.
dude, it was fun, man. It was a fun.
Do you know what
wedding,
was
dude.
funny?
What?
Was so. First off, let me back this story up. Yesterday morning, I was going to just iron my pants. My wife had left to go like hang out with the girls.
You bought them at the last minute, or wait, you
No,
bought the pants?
I bought them a few days back,
Oh, okay.
and they're navy blue pants, nice. And then I tried them on, but they're like 2 inches short.
Oh, nice.
I was like, well, this is looking pretty stupid.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I wore funny socks, it'd be cool. But as I was walking, I was like, yeah, you could see all of my ankles. It was terrible. My wife was like, yeah.
All of your angles?
ankles.
Oh, I said all your angles.
I mean, those too. So I go to take these back, right?
Nice.
And I go to Burlington Coat Factory. Was where I got these pants.
Stupid.
And I go to exchange them, and then I'm just at the counter, and then all I hear is Tommy. I was like, yes.
Tommy.
And then it was my cousin Danny's son, Brandon. Our cousin Brandon. He's
Little
like,
B.
Little B.
Shout
B
out to
unit.
Brandon.
This little freaking
14-year-old.
He's 16.
No, he's 14, dude.
He's 14, looking like 30.
Yeah, 14,
like 30.
14 going on 40.
Dude, he's like, hey, dude, I'm like 9 feet taller than you. I have purple hair.
Dude, he's like Shaq, like today, but yesterday he was just like Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, he was like, hey, dude, look at my socks. They're Homer Simpson. And then like 10 minutes later, he's like, by the way, I have Homer Simpson socks on. And then his dad's like, hey, he has Homer Simpson socks on. I'm like, dude, how many times did you talk about your
He's
stupid
grown up
freaking
so quick.
socks?
His voice is like dropping like mid-conversation. Like, hey, what's up, Tommy?
He's like, hey, how you doing? Great, that's awesome.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
So, flash forward to a mid-wedding, and we're all hanging out. He's just like, dude, can you give me a shout-out on your podcast?
Yeah, he asked me the same thing, dude.
Yeah, I was like, can you give me a shout-out on your podcast? It's like how?
Yeah,
Like, shout out to Brandon.
Shout out to Brandon. Here's your shout out, bud. What's up, bro?
Okay, Brandon, here's your shout out. But as you know,
I told him we charge $10.
He's like,
that's the family going rate for shout outs.
Also, Brandon, you also
People
know you're
have
going to be
paid.
made fun of as you're going to be on this shout out.
We love you, Brandon.
So, Brandon, your dad told me, my
B?
cousin Danny told me, he's like, when you guys were driving out here, you're like, Dad, do you think that the nurse that brought me out into this world remembers me?
What?
Absolutely not. Of course that nurse does not remember you. You know how many people they like deliver per day?
Oh, at the hospital?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like you swear like you're gonna walk back into the hospital and Dr. Wong's
We
gonna be
remember you, Brandon. We remember when you were born.
you're gonna be walking through the hospital.
You look exactly the same.
Dr. Wong's gonna be like, Brandon?
Dr. Wong.
He's like, Dr. Wong, hey, it's me, Brandon. Do you remember me? You delivered me like 16 years ago.
And he's like, oh.
He's like, oh yeah,
I remember you.
let's go out to Subway and get the sandwich.
Yeah, he wants to take you out for lunch and dinner, Brandon.
Absolutely,
He remembers
not.
you.
No, he doesn't remember you. He delivers 100
He's
babies
been waiting
a
for you
day.
to come visit, dude.
But that's hilarious that you would think that. So here's your shout out, and here's also us making fun of you, buddy.
No, we love you, Brandon. And the cool thing is that, you know what? We have a family like you and our aunts and uncles and grandmothers, grandpas that were all, well, no grandfathers, but everyone that was there at the wedding yesterday, you know, it was funny to see them and them coming out of the woodwork and saying, hey, we listen to your podcast. We listen to your podcast. You know, and some of them are like,
We're
hey,
like,
we
I'm
like
sorry.
this. And everyone's got their 2 cents, you know, like, oh, you should do this. You should do that. And it's like, no, we should just be ourselves and record exactly like, you
What
know,
we wanna
what
do.
we want to do. You don't want to like change that, you know? We don't want this to be too programmed. But yeah, it was just good to know that there's a lot of love and there's a lot of support out there from our family and friends that were at the dude, I even saw Mike Rudell yesterday. Who I told Mike, I was like, dude, we just talked about you on the podcast.
Yeah.
Like, we talked about like how his house was like, there was like a sandlot room and there was like a baseball room with like Babe Ruth and just a ton of like baseball paraphernalia everywhere, dude. And he was like, oh yeah, I mean, he got so excited. He was in line for the Mexican food that they were serving, and everyone in front of him had already gotten their food, so there was like this huge gap, and everyone behind him was being nice, not telling Mike like, hey, you need to move up in this food line already.
Yeah.
Mike's just sitting there, dude, and he's just listening to me like, oh, you're talking about, I'm like, so you played for the Cincinnati Reds, and I was like, in the podcast I said it was the 70s or the 80s. He goes, yeah, this is the 70s, it was the 70s. I was like, oh, okay, I just wanted to make sure I got it right and got the team right, but it was just so stoked, you know, and just telling everybody like, hey, podcast this and that.
Dude, he was so sick, bro. I remember like him taking us kind of like under his wing, like so like if mom and daddy like couldn't take us out, he would just take us like on a drive with his car. He had a Corvette back in the day.
He did, dude.
He had a couple different Corvettes, and they were super low to the ground. And it's like you almost like have to like fall down to like sit in these cars. And he would take us out in these Corvettes, just, just take him out and like just go fast around the corner.
Yeah.
It was just like everything.
Mike was the bee's knees, dude. Everyone freaking loved Mike, and he was right across the street. He would invite all the kids from the neighborhood
And do you
over
see
to
his
watch
son?
a movie.
And obviously he married a beautiful woman.
Yeah, his wife Leanna. Yeah, super cool.
Awesome, great cook.
She was
And
there yesterday.
She actually made the cake for the bride and groom.
Did she really?
Yeah.
I had no idea, man.
That's why
There was a lot of Michelle's friends from high school, that I remembered. But there was also a lot of people like I was expecting like beyond Trevor's parents there. I thought like there was so many of them I didn't know and didn't recognize. I was like, "Hey, Trevor, is that your family?" And he goes, "No, that's Michelle's friends or family." I'm like, "Oh, where have I been?" And I didn't even know, and so, but there's also like second cousins coming out. I was talking to one guy and I didn't know who he was, dude. He was just like talking to me and telling me like how he found like 2 dead bodies out in the desert when he was a kid hiking with his friends. I was like, "Oh, that's cool, dude." Yeah. And
he's like, "I'm your dad's cousin."
Yeah.
Anyways,
he told me, he's like, "I'm your dad's cousin." I'm like, "Dude, I have no idea what this guy is."
way.
Yeah, dude. And he made it to the guy that was at table 1 with us. Like, I didn't recognize that guy.
his name's Tommy.
Did you recognize him?
No.
I didn't know that guy.
Dad was like, he used to raise
How did he make
boats.
it? How did he make it to table 1 before Grandma? And
Cole's parents.
yeah, they were all like at table like 2 or 3. I'm
They're
like,
like-
how did this random
Like
make it?
sitting by the sidelines.
Yeah, I feel like Dad actually like he's the one who set up like the play or the schedule for all like the
He's
seating
like,
arrangements.
He's like, "Oh, you're doing something cool with your life. You can sit with us."
Yeah. It's who does Dad like on a scale of 1 to 10 table,
Yeah.
But it was fun. We actually went down there this morning. We helped bring everything down. And
Yeah, that's the great part about having your sister having like a cheap wedding. Your brothers have to help clean it up the next day, which is great.
and we were there. God bless them.
Cut it in my whole day. Thank you.
You showed up. You were like, I have diarrhea. I'm trying to get out of here as soon as possible.
My stomach was jacked up this morning.
Now, we're going to get to the Facebook topics. Tommy put up a post earlier asking what people wanted us to talk about. Look, we saved this for the end because now we're at the end. And, all right, so here's what we got. We got Michael Chacon, Pimp My Ride. He wants us to talk about Pimp My Ride and our experience with it. Yeah, so if you don't remember, there was a show on, I think it was MTV. Tommy, was it MTV, Pimp My Ride?
Yeah.
Pimp My Ride was basically, Ludacris? He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna pimp your ride." I think
Exhibit.
it was. Ja Rule, I don't know. If you have an old clunker car, something that's just some busted ass vehicle, but it still ran. If you could drive it to their lot in Los Angeles, then they would pimp your ride. What does it mean to pimp your ride? They're gonna shine it up. They're gonna paint it. They're gonna put in all the works, TVs. They're gonna, give it shocks. I don't know, whatever. They're gonna make your ride a pimpin' mobile. And my first car that I bought, the first car that I bought and drove was a Mazda, but I actually owned a car before I was even able to drive. I got off my grandpa. It was a Ford LTD2, 1976. So this thing was like a yacht, man.
It was a boat.
It was a big piece of junk, and so it was in the backyard of our old house. And so every time you started it, it would like shoot out like a cloud of like smoke, dude. And like Grandpa was like, when he sold it to me, he's like putting in like smokeless oil. He's like, "Look, this thing is to make it not smoke." But that thing would smoke out the entire backyard. So it's just parked back there. And it's just got like, it's just busted up. And what we would use it for was we used to play airsoft in the backyard, which is like those old guns, not paintball, but it would shoot like little plastic pellets. And so we'd have like all my buddies, we would buy airsoft guns. And we would build bases in the backyard, and we'd be shooting ourselves. We'd be like me, Josh, Watson, Johnny Dewar, Dylan Golden. And we would have like, we started off with like the pump action where you pull like for each shot you had to like pump it once and you shoot like one bullet, and then eventually we moved on to like the electrics where you took a battery and you had
But then that
automatically.
movie, that show really took over. And it was like, "Oh, dude, we have a clunker. We can put it in there."
Yeah. So going back to Pimp My Ride. We had this like 76 LTD2, but you had to be like 18 to go on the show. And so we had submitted it like under my name, I think, for Pimp My Ride. Like, can you get this thing like going again and everything? And they called, they called the house. And so they're like, "Are you 18? And then I was like, and we ended up passing like the phone
You're
on to
like
my
12.
brother to Tommy, who's like 18 exactly at the time. And he's like, "I'm 18. Yes, I'm 18. We want to get our car in the show." So we ended up having to pay, like I went to the DMV. I had like my life savings was a few $100s. And you had to have the registration up to date. So I had to pay the registration and like 3 parking tickets that was on file with the DMV with this thing just to be able to go down to Pimp My Ride. You take it down to Pimp My Ride, what happens?
First off, dude, it was just such a pain in the butt to get that freaking car down there. Because like every freaking like couple miles,
Yeah, I think it was like, is it ready to explode? Yeah, it was beatboxing. 4 LTD2.
Dude, it was the thing was a boat, dude. It was a huge freaking car to drive. I remember driving down to the studios and
what
the
studio
car really,
was it? Where was this?
This is in Hollywood.
Okay.
It really doesn't matter.
So did you drive through like some pearly gates, or was it some like yard where they just refurbished
cars? It was
cars?
some yard.
Yeah.
And with Hollywood, like I've been on a couple of Hollywood shows.
So who was it? The guy that hosted it? It wasn't like some Cisco or like...
No, it was some guy like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
No.
The Bob Barker?
It was just some camera team.
Yeah.
So I pulled up, I did the paperwork, and I pulled in. All right, yeah, you're here for Pimp My Ride, and but they wanted to really know you.
Right. Yeah.
So they wanted to have like a really good personality. Mm-hmm. And at that time, I was just like some little freaking
white guy. Yeah.
I was just like, I don't even know what I'm doing.
They wanted some ghetto dude. You know, it's like, what's up, man?
It's like, I really like popcorn.
Yeah.
I eat popcorn all the time. And what I would love in my car is a popcorn machine.
No blacks make moan.
What I really like is grapes. And I eat grapes all the time. So if I had a big grape bowl and it can keep it cold, that'd be so sick. And then they interviewed me and I was just like, hey, this is my grandpa's car and it's...
You're not ghetto enough!
They're like, you ain't hood enough, like, you don't have a big enough want. And like, I have no idea what they wanted to do with this car.
I'm 10 months
What do you want to do with this car? I was like,
10
I don't
months
know,
behind
make it
my
super
Edison
sick.
payments. I'm 10 months behind my Edison bill, my Southern California gas bill. I can't make my payments. I got my car.
Shut up.
I'm trying to pick up my girl.
Hey, they're like, what do you want out of this car? And it's like, I have no idea. Mm-hmm. Like, what are you into? I don't know. You know? So it was just like, it was hard.
You're just like...
I was like, I don't know, I'm a Boy Scout, I like to hike. They're like, we made your car into a hiking machine. Like, come on,
there's nothing to go off of, man.
Yeah. So
it
was kind of tough.
They didn't give it to us, basically. They did not pimp our ride.
They sent our unpimped ride home.
Yeah, and that car that I paid money for to like get out of like, you know, all the registration and all the parking tickets and everything. I think Dad scrapped it for I think maybe $50.
It was a drive-by car.
Yeah, it was a flyover. It was just done. And so we did not end up on Pimp My Ride. Thank you, Michael, for your submission on that one. Next up, we got Blockbuster from who submitted this one?
Hey, hold on, going back.
Wait, who? Yeah.
Going on to auditions. I went on to an audition for that show Next.
You did?
Yeah.
Wait, was that the dating show?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was like an RV. It was like, yo, what's up, girl? Yeah. There's like 5 guys. They're all interested in you.
Yo, what's up?
But you come out like, hey, what's up? I'm Tommy. I'm from Huntington Beach. She's like, next. And shit, like, and the next dude comes out, you know?
Yeah.
But I went on for that show, and I did all the interviews. They did like 9 interviews. Like, how did you think about this? What would you do in this situation?
You didn't get chosen again?
I never got chosen again. I was so uninteresting back then, dude. I had no experience. I'm just like, well, I live with my parents, and we have a Bible study.
Yeah.
We can... I go to church once in a while, Wednesday nights, core, and Sega Genesis. This is my life. I went to Catalina once, and let me tell you all about it.
I like playing Counter-Strike with John LeBlanc.
Have you ever heard of this computer game called Counter-Strike? Well, let me tell you all about it. What I do is I waste 2 hours of my day. You know, it's only $2, but that's 2 hours of wasting my day. And it's so cool. Like, I put my fingers on S, T, and U, and I walk myself through and...
So you didn't get out.
It's a waste of time.
You never told us, but I didn't know that, dude. I didn't know you went on next.
Next!
Yeah. You walked in and they said next. You got buzzed out.
I was like, hi, my name is Tana. Next!
Yeah, dude. That's classic, man.
Yeah, man, that's what it's all about.
Well, so our next topic, blockbusters. Or Blockbuster, dude.
So I put online, I was like, what's a good topic to talk about online? And I've had a couple of friends comment and post, but one of my buddies is like, Blockbuster.
Wait, who posted Blockbuster?
My buddy Josh.
Okay, Josh.
Josh Losario.
Josh Losario. You want us to talk about Blockbuster? Dude, that's not even around anymore, but we'll talk about it.
Dude, what saddens me is like, a couple of years back, it was like, I would go to like Ralph's, and in the same Ralph's parking lot, it was like Blockbuster, and that shit was popping off.
Dude, you're right. And I actually saw a special, I think it was on Netflix or YouTube, like that there's still... Okay, so it's weird because it was like franchised, but I guess there was still like... You know, they couldn't shut, like, the Blockbuster owned stores, like, they shut those down, but there were still a few of the franchisees that could technically still keep theirs open. And in their small towns, they were still renting out DVDs and still making a living off that. You know, before everyone moved to Netflix and Hulu and everything like that.
That's what it went down to. And my buddies worked there, and I had a couple of buddies that worked there. And these guys these are my party days. This is when I promoted clubs, so like I'd get there super late.
Yeah.
Or early in the daytime, you know, and then like I was like, yeah, I want to rent this movie. They're like, it's not out yet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's up? He's like, actually, we got it in the back.
Yeah.
Like, I'll actually let you borrow it.
I'll let you borrow 21 if you want to borrow it.
Just put it in the thing the next day. And so, dude, they would always give me movies the next day. I made good friends. Like, you know, it was dope, dude. It was just like a cool experience versus going into like a Redbox and just like, I'll take this one. Here's my credit card. You know, it's like, this one's like you would have somebody like some educated idiot just come out to be like, oh, this movie's so sick, dude. It's actually a rom-com. What's a rom-com? It's a romantic drama, dude.
Yeah.
So, dude, this movie's so sick. You have Salma Hayek, and what it is, dude, she was a barber, but in their past life, you know, she worked as a school teacher, but what they wanted to do is they wanted to move into an inner city.
The students are struggling.
No, dude, check it out. So they wanted to move into an inner city. It's kind of a ghetto school, but they really just wanted to like really help out. So, you know, they just decided to teach like a dance school. So it's like, come on, dude, they're all the same.
Yeah, I remember when Blockbuster was like, dude, just like on their way out, and they were selling, because like when you go on Netflix, dude,
they're like popcorn $30.
Yeah, well, they show you like on Netflix. If you go to Netflix or Hulu or whoever you're going on like to stream a movie, they're showing you like the cover of the movie and like a digital like breakdown of what the movie's about, like in the corner, so it's like a little synopsis. When you went to Blockbuster back in the day, it was like the day after tomorrow, and then they would have 30 copies of that DVD, of the actual DVD case on the wall, and that would take up like half of a wall, like 30 square feet, dude, of just like this stupid movie, you know, or 21 or whatever it was, and so
you're really dating yourself here.
Yeah, well, dude, that's what yeah,
like
21, yeah, Kevin Spacey. So those movies though. I remember those little sections would get smaller and smaller and smaller. And then they would have, like, giant bins of just tons of DVDs for sale. You know?
Like, these DVDs, if you take one of these, we owe you money.
Dude, and at one point, they're like, we're not charging late fees, so just bring the movie back whenever you want. You know?
Whenever
like,
you can.
They're like, look, because, dude, Blockbuster used to make so much money, and it wasn't just movie sales and movie rentals. It was video games. It was everything, dude. And then after a while, it just became the movies, you know? And then no one's renting movies. Okay, now we're going to sell off, like, our inventory. So now they're selling off inventory, and they're charging $100 for for a bag of popcorn on your way out. And that's what they got really good at, because look, in Blockbuster's heyday, that's what it was. Like, let's just go back in time real quick. Like, you want us to talk about Blockbuster? Let me tell you what Blockbuster was if you'd never experienced it. You walked in, it was this beautiful halo blue over the entire store, and there was movies on, all the brand new movies were all over the shelves, and there was tons of snacks. You wanted Milk Duds, you wanted, Thin Mints, they were all right there on the shelves, popcorn, you rented it, but if you took it back a day late, that's $50, you better not take back that movie.
$60 for those can of Whoppers, bud.
Yeah, man, you could not, you had to just abide by the rules. And I remember my buddy Johnny.
I love $16 sour candies.
Dude, Johnny applying for a job at Blockbuster, and I remember him going onto they would have a computer at the actual store that you had to go on and type all your information on. And I was looking around the store, and he's typing in his information, typing in his name and his social. He's like, I'm applying for a job at Blockbuster,
dude.
and we just got out of the cyber world playing Counter-Strike. We were playing Counter-Strike, which is right next door to Blockbuster, dude. So it's where'd you get that idea? And so we're going to Blockbuster, dude. And Johnny's applying for a job, because if he knows any way around Bellflower, it's how to get to Blockbuster, because it's right next door to Cyber World. And he applies for the job, and then this is back when it was Windows 98, dude. And so he gets to the last page on the job submission, and the screen just freezes, dude. And he's just hey, he tells the guy at the front, dude, that guy's not going to do anything for you. The guy that works at Blockbuster, he's like, hey, I'm applying for a job at Blockbuster, and the screen froze, and the guy's just he's just molasses.
The worst question that I was ever asked when I was on an interview for a job was at Abercrombie & Fitch.
Oh, really?
They're like, if you can be an animal, any animal you wanted.
Yeah.
What animal would you be and why?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was hired for this job. Do you know what I said? I said, I'd be a monkey because monkeys are crazy and they just have so much energy. It's wow, yeah, hey. And it's hey, do you want this? Hey, do you want this? And then I made
crispy monkey.
I'm like, dude. Who would hire that person?
That's so stupid, dude. That's just sounds so.
If you could be an animal,
dude. That's the most lib question ever.
It's so
dude.
stupid.
It's what's your what's it called? What's your freedom animal, or what's your?
I'd be a horse because I'm tall and I'm long, and I really like people.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a wrap for us. It has been a beautiful podcast.
Thank you so much
for
tuning in and for tuning out and for tuning back in. You tuning son of a.
It's been real. We love y'all's. Thank you so much for bringing your fat butts to our podcast week after week. We appreciate everything. We love ya.
I love you like my fat wife.
We'll be back soon. Peace be with you, and never assume.